Demote me, daddy. Hello, everybody. We're a little bit late, so I'm not gonna make you guys wait too long to get started today. I'm doing my setup here, but I'll be ready in just a minute. See you shortly. Hello, chat. Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Good to see everybody. Haruru Kenshi in here first with the Uwu Cats command. Hey Haruru, how you doing today? I had to describe that command a couple times recently. It's a little bit outdated, but there's still some truths to it. Hello Muttmelon, welcome. Nerve, good to see you today, Nerve Toxin. One of these days, I don't know, maybe it'll happen during the break. One of these days, I'll be able to catch one of your streams. Nerve Toxin here is a streamer too, but the time zones do not line up for me. It usually happens while I'm asleep, or very early in my morning. But one of these days, I'm gonna get over there. Thank you, Muttmelon.
Oh, hello.
Oh, here, let me pause the music because the music's a little loud.
Come on. Hey!
And the Victory Royale clip. There we go. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nerve, but I think you are you're one of our Aussie streamers, correct? Music jump scare. Is the music too loud? Let me turn it down a little bit. We got people in all kinds of time zones around here. Muttmelon also is a streamer, by the way, and you know what? He's gonna be shouting other people out. I'm gonna give a shout out to Muttmelon. It's good to see you. There we go.
I'm going to weep.
Destiny! Muttmelon does a lot of Destiny.
So frustrating. Because I know I had it. Because I got the deluxe edition.
It's separate. Isn't the dungeon key separate, Mutt?
I think if the deluxe edition is there, you might have the dungeon key.
I'm waiting to see that, Muttmelon. I'm like, it's gonna either it's gonna prepare something.
Dungeon key,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it didn't.
Oh yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, I gotta do the same thing, Muttmelon. I don't know why this happens so often, guys. A little behind the scenes on being a streamer. People take a lot of accidental clips. You were waiting for somebody to buy their stupid dungeon key. Yeah. People take a lot of accidental clips. Either they accidentally press the button, or they plan on clipping something but they miss the opportunity, or they click it and they're on the wrong part of the VOD and they're like, I'll go back and I'll clip the right thing later. But they don't realize that their clip actually saves. So a lot of us streamers end up getting mini 30-second long clips, which is the default time, that has the same name as the VOD, which is usually a good indicator because a lot of people like to name their clips, and it'll just be a clip of nothing. So there's a little bit of like pruning and cleaning up that has to be done on clips. I was just doing that the other day too, because a lot of accidental ones get made, and you can tell. I don't like to delete clips that people made on purpose, but you can tell a lot of times that there's some little accidental ones. Nerve says, thanks for the shout out and support. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to have met you, and I'm in Australia. Yeah. Also reminds me I need to get a new dang clip. Hey, you'll build them up. Some games get them more often than others. At least like your clip was you doing an awesome victory royale. I swear, like, I'll be here playing these games that are known to be difficult, right? You know, maybe not amongst people who have already gotten good at them. It seems like once people get good at them, they forget that the games are known for being difficult. But like the Souls games, for example, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, all those things, Bloodborne. I'll be on here and I'll do something that I think is amazing. Like I'll no-hit phase 1 of Millennia, the hardest boss from Elden Ring, or I'll get some really clutch first try or final attempt at some really difficult boss. I'll do something that's super impressive in my eyes. And like nobody will speak up in chat and there'll be no clips. But if I say something that can be interpreted in a sus way a little bit, everybody's like fighting over who's gonna be the one that takes that clip. And like the whole chat blows up and starts talking about it. I'm like, come on, man. Come on, man. Acknowledge the cool stuff too, huh? Hey, Floofers, how you doing with the ekiki? You know, that's not even what Pio calls me. At least she is ECCY as an attempt to shorten eccentricity into a nickname sort of thing. You're just throwing the meme at me, Floofers. I don't know how I feel about that. But you've got more good points than bad points because you also throw pictures of cute cats at me regularly. Floofers is often either in the DMs or in the animals channel on our Discord, !Discord, if you want to join, sharing pictures of their cat, which I appreciate. Can always use more cat pictures. We recently opened an extra channel on the Discord, just a daily check-in channel upon request of opening such a channel, where you can just kind of go in and, I don't know, check in. Give us a mood emote, a status, say good morning, whatever it is. We got a daily check-in channel. I'm gonna be adding a couple others too, and one of the others that I want to add is basically just gonna be a channel dedicated as a shrine to like cats and cat memes and cat videos and things like that, because I know so many of us in this group what would I call this? Community, I guess? So many of us in this community browse and see cat memes and cat videos and things all the time. I'm like, just every time you find one of those you think is cute, throw it in this channel. I'm gonna open that soon, because that's just gonna be like a channel of pure joy for me. I love those things. And I'll probably contribute to it a lot too. You're unfortunately allergic to cats. Yeah, sometimes that happens. I'm glad I'm not. If I suddenly became allergic to cats, I think I'd just die. Because I don't think, at this point in my life, I'm so used to having cats around at all times that I wouldn't just like go without them. But I've had that situation with food. Garlic, for example. I was a big garlic fan. I was a garlic lover. I loved garlic bread so much. My favorite Chinese food order was the garlic noodles. I always covered my pizza in like that was just like granulated garlic. I loved garlic. I loved it a lot. And then I got an allergy to garlic about midway through my life, and I can't eat it anymore. That's just something I have to live with, knowing how delicious garlic is. Are you a vampire? Please, Cog. Please, no. People have suggested it so many times. Because I'm nocturnal, you know? I prefer nighttime. I've got a condition, it's called vitiligo, alright? I've got a condition where I don't have the melanin in my skin that people need to tan. So I just burn in the sun. I don't tan, I just burn easily. And my doctors are like, you shouldn't be out in the sun too often. So I can't go out in the sun too often. I'm more nocturnal. I'm allergic to garlic. I'm very pale. I drink blood. If you stab a stake through my heart, you kill me. Cog says, because, think with me. You only stream at night, you don't eat garlic. Garlic, if I stab you with a spear made of wood, you die. Exactly. Except I'm not a vampire, though. I'm not. Hey, Altair. Hello, hello. Sometimes, only sometimes. Sometimes what, Haru? Sometimes I browse cats. I don't remember what I was saying. Never says, wait, we were talking about cats. Put my headphones in and heard Chinese food. I was confused until you clarified. Oh yeah, we moved on to, we were talking about allergies right afterward. How you doing, Altair? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I should get into the game. I'm like talking like it's a normal stream. I should address the fact that we are a couple hours late tonight. I had a lot of real life thrown at me today. Sometimes only you're allergic to cats. Oh, you were replying to... Oh, you're my reply to Nerve. I see. I said something. Sometimes that happens. I didn't mean sometimes it happens to me or sometimes it happens to him. I meant sometimes it happens that somebody becomes allergic to cats, and it's unfortunate. Listen. It's multiple ways of interpreting what I said, okay? I'm gonna be playing only up. And we are 2 hours late because life was rough today, okay? I guess I can't really get into specifics too much. It wasn't that rough. I should rephrase that. Life was busy and active today, and there were unexpected things, especially with work, which I guess makes it a little rough, but I didn't have that bad a day. I just had a day that pushed me back a lot. Interesting. Only Up is asking to have access through my firewall, which isn't something that it used to ask, but I guess I'll allow it. Sure. Publisher Epic Games, why not? Go ahead. Hey, Matreus! Misinterpret everything Ricky says, go on. It happens a lot. Oh, you know what I gotta show you guys? Hold on a second. Oh man, I still have only up sounds when I... let me see. Settings. Where's my sound? Sound volume. Off. Save. Why is there still sound? Save back. Okay, fine. You know what? I'll close you. Bye, game. You're not gonna let me control the sound. I wanted to show you guys something. I'm getting bullied. As usual, we talk about the interpretations and the changes of my name and all that. A lot of you guys know Peony Astera and the Eki thing. Originally Akiki, but then the Eki thing. Your throat feeling alright? You sound deeper today? I do feel like I sound a little different. Even I kind of noticed that, Matreus. I haven't picked up on anything wrong with myself, but I do kind of see where you're coming from. My voice is, I mean, I don't know. I haven't picked up on anything yet. Hopefully it's not the beginning sign of anything. Hopefully it's more like me stopping being sick. Cog says, yes he is. That's why he's a VTuber. Because he can't appear on camera? Well, that's not true. There's actually a bunch of clips of me, Cog. If you want to see what I actually look like, just go to the clip section of this channel. I used to be on camera all the time. That was yeah, I have a couple variants of how I look there, longer, shorter hair, and we also had a couple where I was dressed up as a girl, or had a filter on, but you'll see actual me in there as well. Play the clips, Rachel. Noelle or Lady D, yeah, or 2B. Or Rachel. Here, let me... Okay, what was I doing? Oh, yeah. Bullying. Bullying and ECCY, Eki. It's not real bullying, okay? For anyone who gets confused. It's bullying the streamer. But our very own favorite alien VTuber, Peony Astera, has had a lot of time on her hands lately. Because she's on vacation. And suggested that I make a daily check-in channel on the Discord, which we have. If you're in there, there's now a daily check-in channel. And has been starting to use that to spread Ekiki or Eki stuff every day. Alright. Now, how many of you have been over on Peony's channel before and heard her background music? That's kind of like a little P.O. loop. It's like P, P-O, P. And it goes on like that. She sung it. Well, she put this in the daily check-in channel the other day. I'm gonna play it. Hopefully it's loud enough. Here we go. Starts like her song. That's all there really is. 20 seconds of it. If you couldn't tell, there she was saying E-Iki-E. Doing the whole icky thing. She made she went out of her way just to call me icky more in a more clever way. Man. But it's still something made for me. It's like she drew a meme in the memes channel for me too, and I'm like, I don't know how to combat this because I love when people make things for me. But this was also made to push the Eki agenda. Orson says, but the real reason why Ricky stopped face streaming was he hated putting on makeup every day, and not when he was Rachel, just regular Ricky. Man, makeup every day would have to be like pretty rough with a beard. With facial hair. I guess you probably just don't make up that section of your face. It's just gotta be like cheeks and forehead and nose and stuff like that. How you doing, Orson? Good to see you. All right, now I will load back up Only Up. I gotta open it again because it didn't let me turn off the sound before. I mean, I should not be surprised that Only Up's programming was not the best. Let me turn back on the sound volume. Oh, I don't have to, because despite me pressing save, it didn't save it. Okay, cool. Big surprise. Alright. Let's computer share the screen. There we go. And this is mostly gonna function like a just chatting stream. In fact, I was just gonna put us in just chatting and talk to you guys tonight because we started so late. Life threw a lot of stuff at me today. I was busy, so we couldn't get the full stream in. And so this is gonna be a shorter one. So I was like, oh, maybe we'll just chat. But Only Up gives me the ability to, like, play something while we chat. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Are you close to the top? I mean, I don't think Only Up lets you save. At least, like, last time I played Only Up, it didn't let you save your progress. So, even if you were close to the top and then you exited, you'd be back at the bottom. I don't know if they've fixed that, because the game got a little bit more popular and it's been around for longer now. So maybe you can now. But we're starting from scratch. You're saying the art is good on what, Matreus? Sorry, I paused for a while because I was trying to figure out what you were saying the art was good on. This game? Oh, the graffiti. Gotcha, okay. That I can accept. I was gonna say, I don't know if I'd praise this game for its art. I haven't, like, looked into it that much. But I did hear that there might have been a little bit of controversy about this game and stolen assets. Don't quote me on that, because again, I haven't looked into it much, but they may not deserve credit for their own art all over the place. I mean, what was it called? Getting Over It was kind of like that too, except they didn't steal the assets, they were just free assets. And I think this game was like, oh yeah, we'll just use assets that we found around the internet. Some of those were free, some of them they didn't consider enough, because I don't think they thought the game was going to be as big as it was. Or they didn't care. That's possible as well. Stolen assets in 2023? Nah. Yeah, how could I even insinuate such a thing, right? Let's go to this one. You'll have to let me know, by the way, Matreus, if later in the stream I still sound like my voice is weird. It might just be the fact that I haven't activated it too much today. My work had plenty of meetings, but I wasn't really, How do I go into slow motion again? I don't remember. I wasn't really required to speak in them. Oh, it's right-click. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, first fall. Hey, PL, how's it going? I just played your darn Icky song for everybody a minute ago. The show that you, like, put in that much effort just to ecky me one morning. How you doing, PL? Good to see you. Go. Orson says, I'm so glad someone loves Naruto. You and I are the only two in chat. Don't listen to Pio. She's gonna call you Icky again. Oh, yeah. I don't know what you're saying about Naruto. I'm more of a fan of his son, you know? Burrito. I had a burrito the other day. Wasn't that good, though. It's from Chipotle. I need to, like, go move somewhere that has nicer burritos near them, because I don't have too many near me. I got some okay ones. I'm gonna try this jump again. Ugh, there we go, we grabbed on. I gotta be doing some risky things in this one because we're on a shorter stream and I want to see if we can get to the top. Pio, have you seen Only Up before? Not sure if you have. This is one of those in the vein of Jump King or Getting Over It. That you put in a lot of effort to try and get up somewhere only to fall and have it all go away. Oh, like that. I see that they did not correct the issue with this game where you can't actually run straight. Because, like, look at this, for example. I'm not sure if this is far enough. I might just run across it. But if I have the camera directly pointed so that I could go straight across this piece of wood and I run the character, yeah, they run off at an angle there. The character just naturally is not facing the direction that the camera is, and you need to account for that. So I have to have the camera kind of like turned to the side in order to run the character in the direction I want them to go. Which is real cool. Intentional design, I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe it was there for the rage. Maybe it was an accident and they just left it there because people are raging at it. When it comes down to it, these games, this type of, like, this genre of game does not need to be made well. The point of it is essentially that it's a train wreck that baits streamers and YouTubers into playing it because it's challenging and they're likely to rage at it. But that doesn't mean it can't be fun. It's your first time seeing Only Up. It's a rough game. 3D version of the Jump King. Very janky. Camo, hello. I thought this game was the only one. I thought this game was the one where you were in a pot and have a hammer. That is called Getting Over It. And was, for all intents and purposes, the progenitor? Is that the right vocab word? Of this kind of game showing up again. I mean, like, Jump King, Getting Over It were both inspirational for that. They both were big. And they're by far not the first games to make this kind of thing where it's difficult to go higher up and then you can lose and a bunch of your progress has gone away. Oop. But it became more popular on Twitch recently. How do I unwalk? Okay, there we go. Because of those games, and so other ones like this got made. This one's more 3D than most of them are. Can I sprint jump to this thing? It's a risk, but it'll save me a bunch of time if it works, so nope, I cannot. I mean, I didn't get a jump off in time, but I'm pretty sure that would have made it there. So what is my best course of action here? Actually, let's try this again. Oh, I didn't go all the way down. In that case... Can I can't get up there, though. I've never had to deal with the pipes from this side. I guess I'll just go back toward the beginning. You guys are also bound to hear my keyboard a lot for this one. I don't usually use my keyboard, I'm usually using controllers. I don't know if this game can be played with a controller, I just play with the keyboard and mouse. Because I feel like you need to be able to react quickly sometimes. And the sensitivity on controllers are not very high. But my keyboard is a little clicky. Especially the space key, which is the jump key in this one. You can go up this path, why not? Let's try it. But how's everybody's weeks going? This is Thanksgiving week for those who are in the Americas here. And so for me, that means that today is essentially my Thursday. And tomorrow is essentially my Friday at work. Oh man. And that I'll be on a little short holiday afterward. Second biggest holiday? What, Thanksgiving? Is it? Thanksgiving has never meant much to me. I don't know if that's a bad thing. My family's, when we were young, when my family was younger, I guess all of us were younger, but when me and my siblings were kids, we would do like Thanksgiving dinner. We'd get a couple of family members together. We'd have a turkey. But we never celebrated too much. The biggest like thing that I note about Thanksgiving for myself is it was the last day before I became a vegetarian. Because I had this thought when I was 9 years old that I wanted to try being a vegetarian. And we had already bought a Thanksgiving turkey. It was just before Thanksgiving. And I was one of the bigger eaters of turkey even at 9 years old. So I was like, you know what? I'll wait until Thanksgiving's over. And then I'll be a vegetarian. So possibly, I don't remember if it was exactly this, but possibly turkey was the last meat that I actually ate. On purpose, anyway. I've had plenty of extra times where I've eaten some meat since then, since I became a vegetarian, because I'm not the pickiest guy ever. If somebody gives me some pork fried rice, I'll eat it and I'll pick out the pork, or like I'll push it to the side or something like that. Some vegetarians don't want to touch like any food that had meat touch it. I'm not like that. I'll pick it out, but that has occasionally resulted in me accidentally eating something that I missed. Which doesn't really matter too much to me. So, I don't know what the actual last meat I had was. But the last meat I ate intentionally was probably turkey. Too bad you can't eat marshmallows. I can eat marshmallows, in fact. I do sometimes. Vaughn says the corpos make Thanksgiving a big deal because they want people spending on Black Friday. Oh, true. True. I've always avoided Black Friday. Hold on, I want to read. How do I... Okay, here we go. It scrolled up. Yuki says, Thanksgiving has been more of an annoying holiday to me because I was forced to visit family I didn't want to see growing up. Yeah, there's some of that too, definitely. Cog says, oh, I never ate turkey. Is it good? It's alright. It's not actually one of the more popular meats with people I know. A lot of people are like, it's overrated. It's dry. It's fatty. Dark meat turkey is a little bit, like, there's dark meat and there's white meat. And the dark meat is, like, greasier and fattier, but therefore it's, like, less dry. And so that tends to be a little bit more popular. but the white meat's healthier. And turkey's kind of a lean meat, so it's popular with people who are trying to hold off on other meats a lot of times. And let me see. But that's an animal byproduct. Marshmallow? I mean, vegetarian is not the same as vegan. Matreus. I also drink milk and I eat cheese and eggs. But marshmallows have meat. So, let's see. That's 2cog. Pio says, I know that turkey is Eki's last meat ever eaten. Is that important detail? Is that an important note, Pio? Camo says, turkey's actually my favorite meat. And funny enough, I can't eat beef, the most popular meat. I don't know why. Beef just grosses me out. I never really liked beef that much, even when I was not a vegetarian. But you gotta remember, too, I was 9 when I stopped. So, like, a 9-year-old's taste buds... Kids like different things. I feel like I haven't encountered that many kids who are, like, that crazy about beef. Froggy! How you doing? We're doing some only up. Playing slightly risky here to see if I can get up higher faster. Akiki art in the Discord. What, new art? God dang it. When you see turkey in movies, it looks to be a dry chicken. It's very, like, I don't know if stringy is the right word. I guess maybe. But it tears apart in a kind of stringy way. So that certainly contributes to it looking dry. I never had, like, too many dry turkey experiences. I think the people who have turkey and complain about it being dry the most are people who are not very good at cooking turkeys, right? You gotta do a lot of, like, basting and things of turkeys to cook them right. You can definitely prepare a very dry turkey if you don't know how to make them correctly. But that wasn't my biggest problem with turkey. In fact, I kind of like turkey, but I only really like the dark meat stuff. I'll have to check that art in a little bit, floofers. You prefer dry turkey? Oh, really? Camo. You just don't really like moist meats as much, maybe? I mean, that's fair. I was, like, never too crazy about meat in general, so I think that made it easier for me to become a vegetarian when I was a kid. Because I just wanted to try it out. What did I like? I liked pepperoni. That's not uncommon for a child. It lasts for some people, but pepperoni is a pretty, a common one for kids, especially with, like, Lunchables and things like that. I was big on shrimp. Some people don't consider seafood to be meat. I'm not really sure why. It's still animals. It's still animals that have skin. I don't really know what the differentiation is made for some people who are like, oh, fish isn't meat. But I liked shrimp. I liked scallops. But I wasn't, like, that crazy about most meat. Prosciutto? I'm not even sure I really had any major, like, prosciutto experiences as a 9-year-old or earlier. It seems like a meat I'd probably have enjoyed. Just because I liked the kind of, like, it's a little bit more spiced, right? Like, not ultimately that different from pepperoni if I were to compare it to something that I knew as a 9-year-old. You enjoy seeing my reaction live? Alright. Well, remind me, floofers. This is not going to be a very long stream because we ended up 2 hours late and it's still a work night for me. Before we wrap up, like when we're off of this game, or maybe sometime when I fall here and I need a minute to recompose myself because I fell too far, We're on a pretty good streak, by the way. I haven't been talking about it, but we're just climbing. This is a pretty nice streak without having fallen. Jinx, jinx. Jinx, jinx, sprint! Oh. It worked. Then I can take a look at the art. Live. Making me want a vegetarian hamburger. Veggie burgers are delicious. I'm not a huge fan of, like, the Impossible meat and the Beyond meat that they made. Partially because it might actually just taste too much like meat for me now. Because I was 9 years old and I'm 34 now. So the amount of time I've gone without having meat as part of my regular diet has been very long, and my taste buds have adjusted. You go through a lot of taste bud changes. How do I walk in this game? Hold on. Let me see. That's how I crouch. Shift doesn't do it. Alt? No. Oh, okay. Here we go. Like, sometimes you want to go slower here for a minute. So I don't really like the taste of meat too much anymore, and I think Beyond and Impossible get kind of close to it. They're also, like, so high in protein and salt content. They just make my stomach a little upset. But the, like, old-timey veggie patties that still plenty of places sell, that are just, like, they're a patty of vegetables. They're not really trying to taste like meat. They're just a substitute for having that, like, patty there. And those are good. They crisp up nice. They're seasoned nice, or you can season them nice. I guess they're not by default, but those things are good. I love them. Camo says, I feel like I could easily become a vegetarian. Vegan, though, I could never. I love cheese too much. Yeah, vegan is too much for me. And also, not all vegans, but vegan is more commonly the type to go for, like, oh, I can't have any animal product, even outside of food. So, like, there's a whole, like, vegan lifestyle, they call it. And you have to make sure, like, any soap or shampoo product or anything that you purchase doesn't have any kind of implications involving animals. To stick to it. And that's a lot of work. I mean, kudos to people who can manage it. Although there does come a bad stereotype with such people that they tend to get a little high and mighty over others, or even try to, like, force others or guilt others for not doing things the same way that they do. It's sort of like the bad vegan stereotype. It's certainly not true of all vegans. It's just loud vegans, especially influencer vegans. There's a lot of vegan influencers out on the internet that have spread that stereotype, and why a lot more people feel that way. A lot of the vegans I've known in real life have been just fine, you know. It's just a tougher lifestyle. You want salmon, Froggy? Don't jinx yourself. I'll try not to. Well, now that you said jinx, it's active again, as we've discussed it. Actually, I should go that direction, not up here. Let's go back down. Easy. No jinx whatsoever. This looks like an easy jump. Easy. No jinx. Easy, easy. Easy. Couldn't possibly fall. Easy jumping backwards. Just turn midair. Easy. Cog says, I always order a veggie burger because they have to clean the grill to make it. That's true. Life hack. A vegan friend of mine doesn't drink Red Bull because the brand sponsors rodeos. Yeah. Because they go beyond just the diet. They make it like a lifestyle thing. Yuki says, I had a friend in college who was allergic to so much stuff. She had to be careful about what she ate. It seemed like a lot of work having to check everything. Yeah, I had a friend like that too. I almost said her name. But yeah, she was allergic to like everything. And I swear she got a new allergy multiple times a year. Sometimes it happens so much that you're like, are you making some of this up? But then you realize how hard it is on them in their life, and you're like, yeah, you wouldn't do that to yourself. Yay, hello. Easy, more like Akiki. You are obsessed, alien, with this Ikiki thing. Why are we doing the broken recycle Ikiki now instead of ECCY? Is that the natural evolution of it? I mean, that's where it started, I suppose. By the way, guys, I know I got a lot of comments from you guys that you enjoyed the Minecraft stream that Pio and I did. Oh no, that's a big fall. Catch it. There we go. That's not too bad. Well, actually, I think this is bad because I don't think I can get past this train. Because this is like an invisible wall here. Anywho, Pio and I are going to be doing a part 2 of that Minecraft stream. Maybe if part 1 was beginner, part 2 will be intermediate. Where I will involve gearing up, armoring, getting our weapons, and venturing out into the caves and structures to get ourselves more resources and introduce Pio to more aspects of the game. Ricky, Icky, Akiki. You love the Akiki thing? No, you don't. Camo. Vetoed. Nobody likes it. It's been incredibly unpopular, and nobody wants to participate alongside Pio. You were wondering if y'all had played Minecraft anymore. No, we haven't played anymore since then. But I've left the server alone. It's still there. I don't know if Pio's logged back into the server. Maybe I'll go back in and Pio will have built a giant mansion where our hill used to be. And is like an expert Minecraft player now. Automated like redstone devices everywhere. Animal farms, expansive, automated. It's like all the armor and diamonds and everything. And Pio will be like, I know you hadn't played some of the newer stuff in Minecraft, so now that I'm the veteran, I'm gonna teach you about some of the stuff you haven't seen too much yet. Like, I've never actually encountered a warden. Because I haven't played Minecraft thoroughly since the warden was introduced. So that'd be a first for me. If me and Pio encounter a warden situation, I'm gonna encase Pio in stone and then run. I don't have to outrun the bear, I just have to outrun her. I mean, I'll be a good mentor and protect. In what fantasy world did I do that? I don't know, Pio. I don't know. You got really into Stardew, didn't you? I'm trying to crack the code of exactly what elements you like. Because there were Minecraft elements in Stardew. They made a new game. I'm considering whether or not to play it myself. I brought it up on Pio's channel the other day. They made a game called Cuisiner. Has anyone had the chance to look at it yet? I know Froggy's played a little bit of it. Cuisiner is a new game that has roguelike elements. But it's also got like cooking elements. You got a little bit of like that restaurant management thing, because cuisiner is like the idea of a person who makes cuisine. You know, it's a French word. And it's also got a little bit of like that dungeon aspect, like Stardew had, where you go into the caves for stuff. So you got a town full of people, and you're like a restaurant manager or something there, or at least you work at a restaurant. I don't know the exact role you have there. And you gotta make food, and you go out on these little like roguelike adventures to collect some of the ingredients. And I'm like, this thing looks cute. I want to try it out. Huge alien cult statue. True. Trey says, I'm not into the Akiki thing. It doesn't sound funny to me. Like, the whole thing. You saw the original meme, Matreus? Unfortunately, when I was playing, what was it, Poppy Playtime, the game did me wrong, and it threw an Akiki in there as well. The original meme comes from reduce, reuse, recycle. And they threw that at me when I was in Poppy Playtime, and this was already after Pio started establishing the Akiki thing. You'll go as far as Eki. The thing that I hate to break to a lot of you guys who do like the Eki thing, I'm gonna be changing my name at some point, I think. On Twitch. I've talked about it before. To change it a little bit, to get it into something that fits the Twitch meta a little bit more. Because, like, most people on Twitch have some kind of name that they want to be called. And it's usually in their username. And so when they raid somebody, or they speak in somebody's channel, even if the person doesn't know they're a streamer, they can call them by that. You know, even people who have weird names like XQC goes by XQC. But, Eccentripy, first off, a lot of people get it wrong. Secondly, it's a little longer. People like to shorten names on Twitch if they're not short enough. And thirdly, I don't go by it. And I call the channel Eccentripy, but I don't really like go by Eccentripy. Somebody's like, hey, Eccentripy. It almost sounds a little weird to me. I'm like, oh, this is just a person who hasn't yet learned my name as Ricky. So at some point, we're gonna have a name change. Now, I'm gonna try to not make it too drastic. I kind of think I know what I'm going to change it to. I just haven't said it on stream because there's always a chance that somebody could just grab the name. Sometimes there are trolls like that. It's usually better not to say what names you want to use. Also, hello Azrael dude. Eccentripy sounds nice. It's nice when you, like, get to know it, but it's too much overhead for Twitch. First off, like, people gotta learn how to pronounce it. Secondly, people gotta learn that I don't actually go by Eccentripy. And then they need to learn what I do go by, which is Ricky. And then they need to actually remember Ricky without any kind of, like, visual reminder, even though there's a ton of people on Twitch. They just have to associate the name Ricky with Eccentripy. It's just, like, not very suitable for trying to make a thing out of the streaming thing, you know? It fights against my idea of, like, growing and being well known and networking and all those things. A lot of people just forget my name. Much like only 3 people say your username correctly, yeah. But at least, like, yours is also easy enough to shorten if they want to say Matra. Even Matreus, you're within the 3-syllable range. I've gone to 4, and it's hard to shorten. Like, Pio's found a way to shorten it, but most people don't jump to Eki. That'd have to be something that they were like told. You know? And let me see what you guys are saying. Sorry, I gotta stare at this game a little bit. It's fine, you'll always be Wiki to us. Well, don't worry, the Ricky part is not gonna go away. And Ricky is where Wiki came from, so that part should be pretty safe. But ECCY might not work anymore. Let me see, what are you guys saying? A name change, yeah. Azrael says you should choose whatever you want to be called if you're tired of Wiki thing, also fair. Yeah, I mean, Wiki will still be safe. Like I said, Ricky's not going away. In fact, I want to bring Ricky out a little bit more if I can. You guys aren't going to see me, like, pick a name that's like Philandrius Hammersmith or anything like that and have me rebrand into some big fantasy character or something. I'm not there. I just want to choose something that accentuates a name a little bit more so that people can easily associate that thing, and it kind of works with branding and growing and sounding like it's actually my name, and when a follower joins, they can call me the right thing without having to learn it. And I myself am bad with names. I usually have to learn a name 3 times at least, or write it down to remember it correctly. And that's going to be so much harder in the world of Twitch where there's thousands of people circulating into chats all the time. Yuki says, I guess that makes sense. Everyone calls me Camo or Yuki, and my name used to be Camo Ninja, but I wanted to change it to keep the camp, keep the camo, you mean? Because most people know me by that? Yeah. But then you also got the Yuki part in there. Rick Tropy. Your new name can be Ricky Ikiki. Man, Yuki. Pio says, I know Eki's new name. It's gonna be Rickroll Tropy. When is Rickroll gonna die? It's so old. Such an old meme. I feel like I'm kind of on the older side for VTubers anyway. I feel like if I picked up the name Rickroll Tropy, I'd just automatically age even further. Azrael says, I always thought Wiki was just a haha joke from Chi and became something because that's it. Chi, I don't think, was the first person to call me Wiki. She was the one that, when she heard it, she did like the Wikipedia thing. Or something to that extent. But I remember having the moment on Chi's channel one time when she called me Ricky and somebody said Wiki, and she was like, oh, that's cute. And I'm like, please, no, Chi, it's Ricky with an R. And she permanently called me Wiki after that. So somebody else came up with that first. I don't know the originator of that one. It might have been Mana, but I don't think it was Mana either. I don't know. Haru says, funny enough, I have IRL friends that just call me Kenshi. My name is just my given nicknames. Yeah, you know, I like, if Eccentripy easily came into like a nickname that I liked, I'd just go with it, you know? But the most common thing that people who don't know me in any way end up calling me is Accent. ECCENT. I hear that time and time again from new people. I go into their chat, either through a raid, my own or somebody else's, or just because I've been browsing and I find them, and they'll shorten my name to Accent. And that's okay, but it's not what I want to be known by. Never gonna eck you up, never gonna eck you down. You guys are all cruising for bruising here. But who knows what you choose, hope to be there if it happens. Yeah, I mean, if it does happen, it'll probably happen alongside like the release of my next model or something. You think I should have renamed a Muttmelon? I think that's probably taken, but I can check. I'm a little bit more into cats than dogs, though. Personally. Yeah, I don't know if you guys knew that I liked cats, though. MZ will always let Rickroll live. Yeah, but MZ hasn't been here in like a year. I don't. MZ's off having a life somewhere else. So I don't know if that will keep Rickroll alive in this chat. I haven't had anybody to blame. It's had to shift onto Manny. And I started blaming Manny for everything, and then Manny left. But that's not Manny's fault. Manny got like locked into Pio's basement or something. Cog says you don't have to worry about your name standing out on Twitch. You already stand out. You're the best. Oh, thank you. I have really appreciated the fact, and hold on, I gotta turn my heat off. I have my heat on because it's been quite cold, but it's getting warm now. Alright, I'm back. Let me catch up on chat, actually, before I finish my thought. Accent, yeah. The cooler Muttmelon. Oh wait, you should try to get Sykkuno. Man. The Sykkuno inside jokes haven't been around for a while. What's he up to? Does Sykkuno still stream? I haven't seen anything. You don't have Manny in your basement, you have no... Hey. Man, he's catching strays even when he's not here, huh? By the way, Jinx, look at our progress, Jinx. We've just been going up for a long time here, not falling, Jinx. Not too shabby. Although at any time in this game, you can fall all the way back down to the beginning. But what I did want to say about, like, standing out, I'm really grateful for my artist, Takimi Nada. And if you do ! model, you get her link, because she's the one that made this avatar that I'm using. Because I've had so many people come in through Discover pages, which is hard to do. There's so many streamers on Twitch. There's, on average, about 8 million a month streaming. So it's hard to be the one that, like, gets people to come in just while they're browsing. And I've had so many people come in being like, oh, your model looked really cool. So they see the little thumbnail and they see the model and they're like, oh, your model looked cool. I wanted to click in. I've had to go tell Takimi Nada, my artist, that was the case. Because that means a lot. I was appreciate it. And I think she did a fantastic job. That is one way to get people to notice you a little bit more, is having a really good model. That's not the key to being a VTuber. A lot of people make that mistake. And there's a lot of really, like, there's a lot of thoughts I have on being a VTuber, because I've had a lot of time to think about it. Like how to start, what makes it stick, what it means. I'll share those ideas on a different stream sometime that has a little bit more of that theming to it. But, yeah, a good-looking model definitely helps. It's not the key to the whole thing, but I have noticed that I get a lot more people clicking in because of it. You can also have a really nice PNG and have the same effect, because people don't know whether it's moving or not when they see the little thumbnail. Because these things are expensive. Sykkuno's behind Ricky's background. Finish the line of reasoning. Yeah, the model thing was what I was going to say. Yeah, about discoverability. Whoa! Character, please. Don't go teleporting on me, alright? Making good progress. If I fall, I want it to be because I've done something wrong. Also, the general angle seems to have changed on me. My character's like running forward at a different angle now, which is cool. Because they were running slightly to the right before, and they're now running way to the left. So, I gotta adjust for that. I don't know if that's because of the weird teleporting we just had a second ago, or what. You guys want to see me take a ridiculously risky jump for no reason?
Ms. 1003 just subscribed. Matriarchi gifted a tier
Atreus,
1 sub to MZ1003.
Thank you for gifting to MZ, I appreciate that.
Channel.
Your avatar is as good as that of a millionaire VTuber like Iron Mouse? Thank you. I really appreciate that. I never know what to say to something like that, and it feels strange because you're not the first person to compare me to Iron Mouse's avatar. I actually like have high hopes, so I don't know too much about the person. Man, something really changed the angle at which my character runs. I have to have my camera like turned all these weird ways just to go forward. Let's make it the game hard mode. Because look at this, we can test it here just fine. If my camera is facing forward, actually let's try to turn my character. So like if my camera is facing forward like this, and I just press W, my character like does a hard angle into the wall. Ooh, actually I just kind of corrected a little bit by doing that though. Nope, I didn't. It's still a big angle. Never mind. Hydrate will do. But thank you, I really appreciate that. And what I was gonna say is, I don't know much about the character of the person. It's like so concerning these days to say that you like anybody on the internet when you don't know them well, because everybody has some kind of controversy about them. It's so easy to get like judged and canceled these days. I'm gonna have a sip here. So I don't know the person, but as far as the art goes, and the skill set, and the productivity, and the being known for things, I really inspire to be kind of like Iron Mouse's modeler. Twin Tails. They're known as Twin, or it's like 2-Win because it's like the number 2 and then W-I-N. But their longer name is Twin Tails. And they make some fantastic models. They do Iron Mouse, they do, I think, hold on, what's her name? The Orca VTuber? Oh, Shy Lily. Yeah, Shy Lily, I think they do hers too. A few other big ones and a few other smaller ones that are still pretty big, but not as big as those. And they make so many different expressions and like really good rigging, and they do both the rigging and the art themselves. I think that's cool. And I didn't make this current model, so when the model's being compared to Twins models, I can't say, "Aw, thank you, I've gotten my skill set to that gets compared to Twins." That's more like Takimi Nada's being compared. Which is awesome, because she's a good artist too. But I'm trying to get my skill set up to replace this one as well, so... I still take it to heart. I like it, thank you. Matreya says, I used to like Iron Mouse. Azrael says, yeah, same, not anymore. I haven't really been watching Iron Mouse, so I don't know if she's done anything wrong or controversial, or if you guys just like fell out of love for whatever reason. I liked Iron Mouse. I don't have any reason to dislike Iron Mouse. But, you know, again, you don't follow somebody for a while on the internet, and sometimes you're not privy to something that happens. I've certainly lost favor with a lot of big VTubers that did something that made me really disappointed in them. So, I haven't watched a lot of big VTubers in a while, and some of the ones that I still, like, think that I would like, because I liked them before, it makes me nervous to get back into that world, because I worry I'd find out about something that they did that was rough. You said things happen, Azrael, dude. Hold on, I gotta let Darius out. Alright, I'm back. There's our Darius interruption for the stream. We're also right here, by the way, at like one of the worst jumps in this game that I've had to deal with, and my character's running at such a weird angle. They're like going 45 degrees off from what I'm looking at, or pretty close to it. And we gotta try and tackle this jump, which is a nasty, infamous one. Hey Techno, how's it going? Good to see you. Azrael says, and you know the true colors show up on people you least expected. Yeah, so I don't know if Iron Mouse has done stuff that would make me disappointed. I know some other big ones have. I'm not actually going to name any of the ones that I've myself fallen out of love with. or that have highly disappointed me and stuff, because I'm not looking to make any enemies and I don't want to judge anybody. If there's anybody in here that likes those people, I don't want to make them feel bad. It's just like, for my own personal taste, I've already been burned by a lot of like big streamers, and not just big VTubers, because it's not just a VTuber thing, but a lot of big streamers in general. Like, something will come out and I'm just like, ah, that's a shame. I can't support this person anymore. Could be anyone, you're right. It's just the big ones tend to have more eyes on them when they do it, and that stuff tends to circulate a little bit more. And I managed the jump, by the way. I mean, it's still a jinx, because I could fall right here and have to do it again. But look! Relatively safe! Cog says I could find avatars that appeal to... I find avatars that appeal to big tits strange. You mean, the more jiggly VTubers out there? It's not for everybody, but there's obviously quite an audience for it. How you doing, Techno? It's good to see you. Also, Vision, hello! What made you, huh? I know we were in the middle of some topics. Was it the big tits comment? I don't know, I think the VTuber sphere is quite wide and varied. And people don't realize that, like, there isn't just a VTuber community anymore. Some people still try to talk about, like, they're like, oh, the VTuber community is so toxic, or the VTuber community is so awesome, or the VTuber community has, like, this kind of theming to it. But there are so many VTubers that cover such a severe range of different topics that saying VTuber is, you know, it's almost like it's not quite there, but it's almost getting to the point where it's like saying a cam streamer. A streamer who uses a webcam, you don't know what the heck they do. They might cover politics, they might cover games, they might be a reaction channel, they might be a drama channel, they might appeal to lewd stuff, or they might be very, like, aggressively against it. And you don't know. And that's the case with VTubers as well. Oh god, I can't be falling through the floor here, kid, please. And I find that there's space for all of that stuff. Do you guys see that? Oh, there's a couple blue things down there. I saw, like, that very blue thing over there, like, right above my character's hat. Down there, and I'm like, is that some kind of secret? Off there, there's, like, some blue thing to find, but then I see another one directly under me there, and I think it's just that a few of the textures didn't load in. I thought I had found a secret for a second. This is also a terrible jump, by the way. Cog says, one time I found a VTuber that was a bodybuilder cute girl. It was a very funny model. Yeah, there's some of those. I saw a smaller one that was going that way. I think she might have been Athena VT or something like that. I'm not big on judging anybody for going the direction that they want to with their content, because there is an audience for it. And there's no rules saying that they can't. It's just, sometimes they exist in a different sphere of preference for a different audience type. But there's no reason that they shouldn't do the things they want to do. Alright, here is where one of our biggest recent drops was. This was like the extent of how far we got up in our most recent attempt at Only Up. Because we got to this point, and then jumping from one truck to the other here, failed on us big time. And I'm still not good at it. So here we go. Alright, we did it. There's another rough jump right here, but not as rough. And onto land. Yay! Muscular women are 50-50 for you. Betray says no need for drama, please, or lewd. Looks at Pio. I mean, just because you, like... so a lot of people get very judgy about lewd tubers. I don't tend to watch lewd tubers myself too much. But they don't need to be judged just because it's not the content that you like to see. Especially because a lot of people who judge lewd tubers are very, like, pro porn and stuff, too. Like, they're like, oh yeah, we need that. It's important as, like, you know, part of the human condition. And then they're very anti-lewd tuber, and I'm like, why is that? I'm not sure. Nid, hello, good to see you. Pro porn, what I join in on. The right stuff. The right stuff. Nid, you're a fan of, or not Nid, excuse me, Yuki, you're a fan of the muscular women? Oh god, where am I going? Alright, we are very high up now. I found the secret bed, I guess. Nid, basically I was talking about the fact that I don't understand why some people judge lewd tubers so hard. It's like, it might not be their type of content, and they certainly don't need to watch it, but I'm like, it's one of those forms of content that people look for and enjoy. And a lot of the people that I've met who are anti-lewd tuber are pro-porn. And I'm like, I kind of want to know why that is. I'm kind of curious about the logic. Atreus says, I don't like lewd tubers because they're boring. Yes, I said it. And you got an applause from Azrael, dude. Listen, guys. To each their own, but I'm trying to lightly imply that I'm not really, like, for the judgment of these people. Saying they're boring to an entire category of people is, like... assuming that they're all the same? You follow one, Azrael, dude? I wonder if I do. I probably follow at least one that was, like, a support for groups that I'm in. Oh! Well, my character decided not to grab that. But, this isn't the worst fall in the world. Except this makes me have to jump across old V's, which is a little rough. We got to skip these before because we found a cool bed down below. And I'm almost like, do we jump back down? You know what? Jump back down! Oh, I didn't jump far enough. Oh no, this was a mistake! We're okay. We're okay. This wasn't that much of a mistake. I want to get to that bed that let me skip, like, half of the map. Because that's going to be super helpful to us. They're not all the same, but they fall out of the same type of entertainment. It is true. They're like, this is very true of a lot of VTubers, actually, to go outside of just talking about lewd tubers. A lot of VTubers are really struggling, and have always struggled, to try and figure out what makes success. Because there's so many, it's such an oversaturated market. Uh-oh. So you tend to have a lot of VTubers pick somebody that they like, who is an entertaining VTuber, and then copy that person. You'll see a lot of people with models that look surprisingly similar to Iron Mouse, and who do voices that sound surprisingly similar to Iron Mouse, or one of the other VTubers that are known for having like a particular type of voice or something like that. Because they're trying to find their initial success. And when people start to get a little bit more success, or at least a little bit more experience, then they start to tend to form the uniqueness about themselves a little bit more. But there is a lot of sameness with people who haven't had a lot of experience. That's just sort of where they start out. Hold on, I want to see what some of you guys are saying, and I missed it because I have to stare at this game. Camo says, actually, a story I'm writing has a muscular woman as the best friend of the protagonist. Nice. You just like a few lewd tubers, Azrael, dude. It says, sometimes it's overkill, but I don't judge them for it. It's obviously working for them. And far be it from me to tell someone to conceal their sexuality. Azrael says, I think this is about the one VTuber Azrael says they follow. Yeah, she has a lot of knowledge, but it's like an oven sometimes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means. It gets too hot. Nid says, I thought I followed one, but I just follow Gremlins. Ah. You can't have chocolate every day. You want strawberry once in a while. Yeah, I mean, diversifying anything's good. There's such thing as a porn addiction, too. A lot of wind turbines. Yeah, they scare me. Benchmark it, Pio? I think I might have lost the context for that. Or are you just talking about the streamers that tend to copy each other for a while at first to like start somewhere and then grow? Did you know Opera GX is a VTuber too? I did see that they have one. I've never watched any of her stuff, but I did see they got a VTuber that represents them. MZ says, my butt been shooting. I'm arrived to call cops on them. MZ, hello. Yeah, we were talking about you. And I'm like, I haven't seen MZ in like a year. And I think, who was it, Matreus that shot you? Welcome, MZ. I hope I hope you've been having fun wherever you gone, MZ, and I didn't just scare you off by blaming you all the time. I hope you know we love you here. It's good to see you. Ned says, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. I personally want to approach this just being myself. I'm not in for profit or anything like that. It's just fun to save my VODs with friends. And you can definitely build an audience just being like completely yourself. That's kind of what I did. And again, I have a lot to say about like VTubers as a thing. But I feel like I want to address it on a stream that's about that. Because I feel like I've got some insight after doing this for so long, you know? Yeah, see, everybody missed you, MZ. Hello, it's good to see you. Yeah, Matreus shot you. He's right there, officer. That's him. You're around, just not chatting. Oh, that's fair. I mean, it's fair if you're not around, too. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm never going to judge anybody from being somewhere that's not my stream. There's so many great streamers out there, and the more that I've networked as well, the more we've just introduced people who were mostly only here to additional communities that I think are great. And people don't have time to do everything. So I don't ever mind if somebody's not here, but I do miss people sometimes. I won't hold anything against people for being gone, but I'll still like the person, and so I'll still miss them. You open everyone you follow as much as you can. The least support I can do. That's nice to hear. I do the same thing. I've always got at least 2 tabs open. Because apparently like default browsers tend, especially like Chrome, tend to only count you as supporting 2 people at once. They deactivate the other ones, I guess. Oh, here's the scary truck-to-truck jump again, guys. We gonna fumble this time? Nope, we did it. How about fumble the second one? Let's try. Fumble? No. Okay. We've made it back onto the solid land, and we should be able to do our bed skip again here in a minute. Interesting. You have 19 tabs right now? Wow. It says, once I'm done with this art I'm making for you, it's PNG time for me. Nice. You're gonna make your own PNG too? Did you make the one that you use for your thumbnails and stuff, Nid? For those who don't know, Nid's been streaming lately. I think mostly Devil May Cry and Final Fantasy XIV content so far. If you open multiple browsers, can you have more than 2? I'm not sure how they work with that. I would guess at least like... Uh-oh. Let's drop back down to this bed. There we go. I would guess at least if you have like a non-incognito window and then an incognito one. That's not a wah 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 wah. This is just this is information gathering to decide where the best place to drop off is. I think it's gonna be this direction. Oh, not what I wanted. Where did we end up? This is not bad. I'll take it. This is like after the bookcases, yeah, or after the boxes rather. I'll take it. This is an old picture about a year ago. Gotcha. Mostly DMC, but you've been playing a lot of multiplayer with friends. Multiplayer DMC? Where do I go from here? Do I like walk through here? Oh, I do. Look, we're inside. It almost doesn't look like it's this game. Like I could just hang out here for a minute and people come in and be like, what game is this? This doesn't look like Only Up. There's even a shopper. Hello, shopper. You're pretty tall. I guess I am a kid. DMC multiplayer mods is bannable, just a heads up. Gotcha. I mean, I've been doing my very first mod playthrough. MZ, I don't know if you've been in for any of it. In Dark Souls 3. We're currently working through a weapon and enemy randomizer. And we have the poorly translated mod turned on. So all the dialogue and the item descriptions and everything is all poorly translated, which has been hilarious. And I think there's only going to be like maybe 1 or 2 more episodes of that. If we do all the DLC, it's probably going to be 2 more, but I'm going to try and get it done in 1 more. We'll see if we can. And I always have to play an offline mode for that. But I guess you can't really do a multiplayer and be offline at the same time, huh? So, I guess you're just risking a ban. Can I make that jump? I don't know if I can. Maybe. Maybe. Is it worth risking it? Yeah, why not? Ballsy! Alright, there we go. Now, you mannequins are very tall. But these mannequins, these are next level. Hold on. Azrael Dude highlighted a message. I missed it. Let me see. There's a mod to play DMC5 multiplayer since for some reason they couldn't get to work the mode, but community made it real. Oh, I see. I wonder why they ban people for that. Because it's not like... Like, why is that bannable? I gotta think about that, because it's not like there's any competitive mode you'd be ruining, any, like, real multiplayer. Because at least with Dark Souls, there's invasions and stuff, so if you're cheating, you can cheat the invasions and ruin the experience for other people. But for Devil May Cry, like, why would they ban you for that? You're just changing your own game experience. Weird. Let me see. Nid says also did a Minecraft test stream with shaders. I run at 35 FPS while streaming. That's not too bad. As long as it's over 30. You've seen some on YouTube videos. I gotcha. Streaming and publicly saying you're using it. Oh, but doing it on your own, they won't ban you for it. It's just like they don't want it advertised. I guess that's fair. Brain went major burr, you're back. Welcome back, Floofers. It's Capcom. Yeah, okay, I guess that's enough explanation. They were literally gonna make the Bloody Palace multiplayer and now they ban people for that. Yeah, that's silly. Because they're probably trying to monetize it with their own multiplayer modders. But modders already do it for free. Yeah. Well, you snooze, you lose, Capcom. And now you're just going to throw your lawyers at people? DMC5 does have multiplayer, but it's garbage. Oh, interesting. Ezreal says, well, the only thing I've seen since Raise Some Flags in Capcom HQ is that some spicy mods somehow has been going in SF tournaments. What, people have been like using nudie mods and stuff, or just like just like really skimpy outfits and things in Street Fighters, or like the extra jiggle physics mods and things. I'm gonna take a sip from my coffee here. Oh, you can't really play together, I see. Interesting. I'm gonna get further into the world of mods. I feel like this Dark Souls 3 thing will have just awakened me to it a little bit. And will mod more games, because I think that's a way to take some of these games that people have seen a million times and make the experience a little bit more... Really, Staircase? Really? Okay, fine. Make the experience a little bit more unique and enjoyable. What am I doing here? Jump into these lights? I guess. This is janky as heck. Alright, we're up. Not even the official bikini outfits. They gotta always take it a step spicier. Games haven't really realized yet, but even when you offer people a spicy mode, that just means they gotta find a way to make it even spicier beyond that. What is this bed? That's a trap. That is not helpful. That's just gonna make it super risky. Did a Friends versus Friends gang beasts. I'm gonna organize a what is it called? It's not, is it Animal Party? Something like that. Basically the animal version of Gang Beasts that came out more recently that's been popular. Party Animals, thank you. I was like, that doesn't sound right, Animal Party. I want to organize one of those at some point if I can get the right people on. There's a streamer I've been reaching out to that we haven't collaborated with before that I may or may not end up playing with. I think you can get 4 people in there together. So I might have one of those at some point. Although I want to have a sit down with you guys at some point and transparent. I mean, I talk about it, but I want to sort of transparently like show you some of the games or list some of the games that I've been considering starting next, because we finished Elden Ring and I am going to be doing more Elden Ring content. We'll probably mod that too and stuff like that. I'm going to be doing a lot of Souls content, in fact, because I went 2 years of streaming without playing any Souls content. And it's some of my favorite games. I just didn't know how it would go on stream. I've been enjoying the heck out of that, and you guys seem to have been enjoying it too. We got a lot of momentum and followers from it, and a lot of you guys seem to like to watch. And so there's a lot of games, like Lies of P, I'll probably start soon, just because I want to play it while it's still relevant. Code Vein, I want to play. There's some lesser known ones I want to try out. I want to try out Neo. I might even go back and give Sekiro another chance. We'll see. But I want to do some stuff that's not those as well. Jose often plays with Dr. Flurry, yeah. You can 4v4. There's a cooperative too, though, isn't there? Like against AI or something. Cog says, another life hack I remembered about fast food. The restaurants will never have you have unsalted fries ready, so you ask for them unsalted and they have to fry more just for you. In the end, you ask for a little salt on the side. I have heard that before. I feel like that's a way to get restaurant employees on your bad side, but maybe it's worth it for the fries. I don't know. Hold on. MZ says, among all the Souls games, Lies of P piques your interest the most. Oh, really? That'll probably be the next one that we start, just because, like I said, I want to play it while it's relevant. I have the biggest sense that Lies of P will disappear from everybody's radar, and they'll be very about it not too long from now. So I'm like, I might as well play it while people are still interested, right? But Code Vein's getting a little bit of a resurgence in interest. You like the annoying Squiddy Cat, MZ? That's based off of Undertale, which is another game we have going right now. Been on a little bit of a break from it since we got an ending, quote unquote, but there's still more Undertale to be played before that one's retired. I don't like how janky the characters' like movement and like the direction and the jumping is getting. I feel like it's getting a little bit worse over time here. But I got the entire Yakuza series that I gotta play at some point. I've got the Danganronpa series that I want to play at some point. Is this a trampoline? Yes. It's a loud trampoline. I've got Doom Eternal. I've got Hades. Any of you guys enjoy Hades? I got that one because I like me a good roguelike. I've also got Dead Cells. Never played that either. Devil May Cry. Gonna be getting into those games at some point. Lies of P has received nominations at the Game Awards, so it won't be leaving the market quickly. Yeah, but the Game Awards doesn't necessarily mean the same thing as people being interested. Sometimes those awards are a little strange, but I don't think it'll be gone super soon. I just want to play it while it is more relevant. Baldur's Gate, I'm still not sure whether or not I'm going to want to play, because it's such a long commitment. Like, I'm hearing even normal playthroughs of Baldur's Gate, like not even by the really thorough people, just normal playthroughs of Baldur's Gate being like 150 hours at least. That's a lot. And it doesn't have the Souls type gameplay that like Elden Ring had when I made that commitment. But maybe I'd try it out and see if I enjoy like the gameplay of it and things. I'm just not sure if like the battle system is going to hold me enough for 150 hours of stream. Yeah, there's a lot to pick from. I mean, the nice thing is I'm not going to run out of any content for a long time in terms of games. Because even if they didn't come out with anything new interesting for a long time, I got a big list of stuff to play. Fires of Rubicon has to be on there at some point too. The Armored Core 6 game. Next time you pause, check out the drawing I posted. I'd love to see your reaction. How about next time I fall from somewhere? I gotta keep this momentum going. MZ says, I don't know, man. I'm not fans of role-playing games, so I picked Lies of P. Is 7 Days to Die still on your map? Yes, but I'm not really like mentioning things that are more like here or there or one-offs. Like if I play Minecraft or Only Up here, for example, or 7 Days to Die, it's not really going to be like a series that I'm sitting down like episode after episode playing it a bunch for a long time. At least I don't think so. It could always turn into that. If I play something like that and it really speaks to me and then people are enjoying it, sure, it becomes a series. But I'm more talking about like some of the longer commitments, like the next games we'll be playing. And they don't have to be long. I would love to find some games that are like, 12 to 25 hours long and play more of those too, rather than the ones that are closer to 100. Because I like those experiences as well. It's just, it tends to be that a lot of the types of games I enjoy overlap with games that are like very long too. Let's see. Did you see my suggestion for Chernobylite? It's pretty fun, at least as far as I've gotten. I saw that you posted it. I haven't had the time to like click on it and watch through because my day was like so crazy that we ended up streaming 2 hours late. So I haven't seen what type of gameplay it is or anything yet, but I will check it out. Yuki says my first playthrough of Baldur's Gate was about 60 hours. Yeah, but you sound like an outlier, right? Because I think last time we talked about this, you said that yours seemed to be so much shorter than what everybody else was saying. Wasn't that Baldur's Gate? MZ says not the kind of gameplay I'm interested in. Yeah. Do you want to tackle the remaining Souls like games first? Nah, I'm not going to tackle all of them at once. I'll beat Lies of P probably. But you know, I might end up playing, you know, Dark Souls Remastered or Dark Souls 2 or Bloodborne or Neo, and Neo has a 2 as well, I think. And all these, like, there's a pretty long list of those things. I'm not just gonna try and wipe them all out. I think it'd be better to space them out a little. I might go to Lies of P soon just because it's there and relevant, but after that I might space them out. Bunch of good games came out this year. Yeah, surprisingly, not too bad. MC says, you know what game that deserves to be better mentioned, at least in the awards show? They're playing it safe. What game? What game, MZ? Have I heard of One Shot? I don't think so. I don't think I have. Yuki was saying, oh, okay, I was thinking 7 days would be for a bit, because when I play, I usually go around 40 to 50 to get to the end game of the world, and each game day is an hour. Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I suppose it just depends on my experience with it when I play it. I don't tend to commit a game like that that's like less straightforward as like a one-time, like a story game thing. I don't tend to commit that as a series before I've experienced it. I've set foot in 7 Days to Die before, but I don't think I even went through a whole day because the person that I was playing with decided they wanted to play something else, and I was just kind of being a follower that day. It wasn't on stream. Oh, you're talking about the Hogwarts game, MZ? I mean, I think there's an understandable reason why they don't make that a center. Camo says, yeah, I apparently went through Baldur's Gate pretty quick. I tend to not mess around with non-combat focus quests and stuff, though. Like, I hate puzzles and just walking around clicking buttons. I like fighting. Yeah, there's a lot of puzzle fans of that game. There's a lot of romance fans of that game. Like, they want to do all the character plots and then, like, slow romance somebody. That's been a big thing. It says, oh boy, it's such a cool experience. I remember watching Markiplier play it back in the day and stayed with me since then. I think it's rather short. Which one is this, Nid? This is the one-shot one? I'll have to check it out. If you're in the Discord, which you are, you should put it in the suggestions channel. Hogwarts is the game you really want to play. It's literally having everything you ever wanted to do, the Harry Potter games. I used to enjoy, like, I'm going to admit, I enjoyed the Harry Potter games. I liked Harry Potter growing up, all those things. I will say I am among the crowd now that does not want to associate with Harry Potter because of the creator and her beliefs and the fact that she's still getting royalties off of everything. I'm not going to heavily judge anybody else for doing it, but you're not going to see that content on this channel. It's a shame because Hogwarts Legacy does look like a good game. I just don't want to support it. So that's why we haven't seen it here. And I think it's understandable the awards didn't do it. Whether or not they feel like they don't want to support it, them being an awards thing, I'm sure they'd much rather just avoid the controversy that would happen if they did support it. Yuki says, if you want to just check out 7 Days one day, let me know. I know basically everything about it. Will do. Cog says, a big debate going on is Dave the Diver was nominated for Best Indie Game, but it's from Nexon, a multi-billion-dollar company. Ooh, yeah, I feel weird about that because a lot of AAA studios... Hold on, I'm going to catch up with chat, then I'll talk about it. We'll talk about Dave the Diver in a minute. Neo 1 has main character tailored for the story. Neo 2, you create your own. Oh, interesting. Yuki, so yeah, I didn't like a lot of the characters in Baldur's Gate. I only really liked one of them, so I didn't care about the romance or companion quest lines too much. I think that takes up a lot of people's time. Azrael says I do too. I enjoyed the first 2 games for PSX. Yeah, PlayStation 1 Hagrid. I appreciate the fact that he became a meme. I mean, those games, like, there's nothing... You know, I don't harbor any, you know, nobody should harbor any guilt for enjoying Harry Potter growing up, and not necessarily have to harbor any guilt for even enjoying Harry Potter now. Like I said, I'm not going to force anything on anybody. But for me, myself, I don't feel bad about enjoying it when I grew up, because that stuff wasn't even known. And it wasn't the same kind of, like, social landscape. But now that it is there, I'm not going to support the person anymore, you know? Things change. It doesn't make me retroactively hate the series or anything like that. I'd still say the movies were good, the books were good. I enjoyed the parts of me growing up, like going to Harry Potter World and things that liked that and playing the games, but now that I got the different information and the different information's out there, I can dynamically act on it differently. Not liking the creator's fine. I'm a big Rurouni Kenshin fan, even though the creator's an asshat. Oh god, what's going on here? I guess you're meant to be inside these, not on top of them. Sorry, I had to look away from reading for a second, because my character was trying to throw the game for me. Let's get onto land and I'll read again. I mean, it's fine to not like the creator and not want to support the thing because of it, too. It's entirely people's decisions. It is sad that Harry Potter had to go down that route because the creator was so awful, but that's just how it be. There's one ethical way to get the game, yo ho ho. Yeah, but in my eyes, like, if I really don't want to support the game, I can't stream it. Even if I did do the yo-ho-ho thing, if I stream that game and people are coming in and being like, oh, this looks cool, I kind of want to play it now, and, you know, I'm essentially selling the game myself if I play it. I'm just not interested in doing that. It's just my own take. I'm not going to give anybody a hard time here. How do I share Steam games? I don't know the answer to that question. Nid? Yuki says, for my second playthrough of Baldur's Gate, I just left a couple of the companion characters for dead right when I met them. So, I heard that when characters die in that game, they're just dead, but then I heard more recently that you can also just revive them. So, I'm a little confused about how that actually plays out. Because I haven't been, I haven't been spoiled for it. Azrael says, I mean, I can like Ricky's future games, but never like the guy anyway. You spend an awful lot of time here for not liking me, Azrael dude. Boomer Russ, hello! Thank you for the head pats, Azrael dude. Who doesn't like me? Yar har har. I'm not supposed to say it on stream. And I guess it sort of depends some of the context, like if we're gonna talk about indie games again. But I'm not really against the whole yar har har thing, especially when it comes to AAA games. I don't do much of it because I have the money, I might as well. But a lot of people would never get to enjoy a game, like they don't even have the option to buy it if they didn't go that route. Hey, look, we're at IT Office Group. Can I just point out that we've had, like, a supreme amount of progress? Like, it's already around the time where I'm supposed to be stopping the stream, but I don't think I've ever gotten this far. Or if I have... Did I skip the area where you, like, the sun's shining in your eyes? I think I did. This might be my highest, because I don't remember the IT Office Group building here. We might be at our, at our own personal height in this game in a very short time. PB. Hold your horses. Wait, what happened? Anyway. Indie games and Dave the Diver. I said I'd talk about it. I think Dave the Diver is fantastic. I haven't played it. I think it's fantastic. It's pretty. It's a great game. I completely understand the controversy for it winning an indie game prize, because this has been something that's been happening a lot of times lately. Studios that are essentially AAA call themselves indie. They decide to identify as indie to try and get in on that scene, and they'll make something that's pixelated, and they're like, yeah, we're indie. But they're like multi-million-dollar company with like a ton of workers. Or, wow, my character just slid on that. Or a AAA game studio will have like half or more of the team leave, including like the main minds behind it. They'll just leave, they'll quit, and then they'll form an indie company, and it's basically just the same AAA company again, but they just formed it indie, and they're all AAA people, and then they get the same AAA publishers behind them because the publishers have already worked with them before. So they don't really have any of the indie situations. None of the indie struggles, none of the indie sizes, none of the indie funding. They're just AAA, but they call themselves indie. That's been happening more and more, and I do think that's a little annoying. I mean, having more games that operate in an indie fashion is good. Like, Dave the Diver is a good product. If a AAA studio wants to start producing games that are like that, instead of like some of the AAA hogwash that's been made, that's a good thing. But at the same time, when they start like claiming the awards, when there's like, oh, this game was made by two people with like passion of love, and you know, it took them 2 years to make it or whatever, but they put a bunch of passion into it and their own money, and they got like a Kickstarter up that only just managed to make it through, and they're like, the story of success goes up against a multi-million-dollar company that produced the game really quickly, and then that multi-million-dollar company wins. That always feels a little bit icky. That doesn't feel right most of the time. Because it's like, indies can't really compete with that. You're putting two very, very different groups into the same category. It's like, at that point, you ought to be separating your awards out a little bit more in terms of like the kind of size of the company, rather than just whether they call themselves indie or not. Like a different qualification besides just the title. Because if a multi-million-dollar company with a bunch of employees can call themselves indie, then indie is not enough to make itself a category anymore, I feel, you know? Thank you for the lurk, Azrael, dude. Well, let me see what you guys are saying, too. Dave the Diver is very good, yeah, Pio, I agree. I haven't played it myself, but I've watched a bunch of it. You love that Bayo 3 got more attention? Oh, did it? Is Bayo 3 a 2023 game? I thought that was the end of 2022. No, don't do any unnecessary statements. I'm careful about how I say it. It says I played Tears of the Kingdom a week early. Oh, nice. Wasn't the voice actor the one in the wrong there? Oh, you mean for Bayo? I think there's mixed opinions on that. I never went too far into it because I don't know Bayonetta much. And I don't think there's been any kind of agreement on whether she was in the wrong or not. It's just personal opinion. But I think she did a lot of lying on it, is what I heard. But again, I haven't looked into it much, so again, as like, you know, we're in the days that I have to preface everything I say with like, please don't put too much weight on this, because I don't know. I haven't done the research, so the things I say shouldn't hold much value on it for you guys. You know, I'm not taking a side here. I'm just saying I heard that she lied a lot about things. but I haven't looked into it. All right. It's so easy to get canceled in this world. It says, I remember when the trailer dropped and I thought Sparta was going to show up. That woman looked exactly like him. Her says, I think the Game Awards are separated in the category. One is independent games and the other is indie games. Oh, gotcha. I mean, it's good if they're doing that. I should start watching those awards, because I feel like that is pretty relevant to what I do. Also, let me move over here, because I was more off the screen, because I didn't want to block the soul count when we were doing the Souls games. But I can be over here when we're playing this one. Hello, Jose! Howdy. How's it going? Cog says a justification for this would be the concept of an indie game is just an independent game, which was produced and distributed by the same company. But if you think about it like that, every Nintendo game is an indie game then. Yeah, I mean, indie meant independent, but that's not actually what the concept was. It was just the word. Indie has come to mean like those small little groups. It just needs more separation in these days. Because, like, the root of the word is definitely independent, but the meaning has taken on something else. Some people forget with a lot of semantics out there is that, like, the initial meaning of something doesn't necessarily mean that's what it is anymore. Yuki says, I don't even know what Dave the Diver's about. I looked at the trailers and stuff on Steam, but I don't get it. You are, as far as I'm aware, you're just, like, working for this sushi restaurant. I think you might be... you might be the owner, or you might become the owner, but you're working for it at least. And you have to go collect the sushi. Live. And then you have little, like, nighttime times where you have a little diner mini game too, and you're serving it to people. And there's a sushi chef, but it's not you. How you doing, Jose? Trey says, I think Jen Hale was a great choice, honestly, but that story sucked. Did they... Wait, Jen Hale, did they actually replace the voice actress for for Bayonetta? Is that what you're saying? Again, I'm so out of the loop on that thing. They did? I mean, Jen Hale's a pretty good voice actress. I'm not, like, highly familiar with Bayonetta's voice. And Jen Hale usually just sounds like Jen Hale. She's one of those actors that does the same voice all the time, like Steve Bloom and things like that. But it's a good voice. I could certainly see it fitting. We got thunder. Why is there thunder now? Are we going to be going into a rainstorm here? Now, I've been jinxing myself a lot in this game, and so far we've gone unpunished. But I want to point out again that we are so far ahead of the furthest we've ever been in this game before. Like, we're pretty deep into a PB right now. And I think that's neat. Now, we are already at the point where I was supposed to stop for the night. But I think I'm going to continue on this PB. If we fall and we get a little bit of a loss and I can get up here reasonably fast, we'll keep going. If I fall and we get a big loss, we're ending for the night. That's what I'm putting in. Now, I'm the only one that can really define big loss here. But I'll try and be responsible about it. Because just the climb back up here, even if I did it perfectly, could take me like, 40 minutes. A storm is approaching, yeah. Look at that, just like there's a bunch of floating people over there. Is that Ohio? Or Ohio jokes still funny? Is that still like... Is that still go-to humor? Let me see how bad this bed is, huh? Jumping on a bed, I don't know. It's tempting death. Oh no, that one's fine. That one's fine. We just got to skip some things. That's cool. Not your taste of joke, Atreus. The Ohio thing. Honestly, I don't get it. But I think a lot of like that was still That's still Gen Z humor, right? I know a lot of the weirder humor these days is Gen Alpha. We're moving on to the next generation, guys. It's Gen Alpha that's really going complicated now. It's a space elevator? Interesting. I think that Ohio was a... Oh no, this isn't gonna go fast. I was worried this would shoot me up super fast and I'd have to land correctly somewhere. I might still have to. Just watch out for what happens here. Oh boy. Alright. You gonna come back down? Yeah, you're coming back down. There's another generation after Z. Has been Yuki for a little while. You hear any of this, like, anybody hear about Phantom Tax? Phantom Tax? Skibbity? Gat? These are all Gen Alpha stuff. This is the Gen Alpha humor. Skibbity toilet. Am I more in the know than I should be? I don't know. Yeah, Gat. Gat's one of them. Let me die. You don't want to hear those. Sorry, Muttmelon. But yeah, we got the Gen Alpha. I think Ohio was still largely like a Gen Z humor thing. But a lot of like... Winner! 74 minutes in the game. So in 74 minutes we've come up here, guys. I see that they've corrected a mistake here. So I gotta actually give them a little credit. I heard at the point of the game... It makes me a little sad because I heard it was like halfway up. But I heard at the point of the game where it like is trying to trick you that you just finished. Before, they used to play the Final Fantasy victory music. So they've probably now replaced that Final Fantasy victory music with something copyright free. Like some fair use thing. Alright, we got the crown. We're the winner, totally. Yay! It's a fake victory, though. It's a fake victory. This isn't actually the end. We can see there's a lot more up there. Oh no, he's speaking in tongues. What, because I'm talking about Gen Alpha, Gen Z? You blame your friends who already had kids for Gen Alpha humor? You've never been up to date with the current lingo even when you're younger. Somehow I've always managed to stay up to date, I just don't really use it. Even Gen Z stuff. I don't know, what did I use? What could I use that would be considered Gen Z? Is screaming about Let's Go a Gen Z thing? I mean, not really. People kind of did that in the millennials. That might have been like late millennials, early Gen Z, CSGO era. I don't sheesh, Haruru. I'm trying to think about ones that I use. Because I've said I've occasionally thrown out a Let's Go. Not a shouting, exuberant one, but... Sheesh were Gen Z, yeah. Sheesh wasn't exclusively Gen Z, but the popularization of it as a meme was just like sus. Everybody was like, "Oh, sus was Gen Z," and it became a thing because of Among Us. But that's not true. Hey, look, we've ascended to heaven, and there's a goat here. What is this pacing? I'm like doing this game. I'm like in Zen mode on this game, and I've just been going up. But yeah, sus was back from even older than I am. It just got brought back and repopularized and used a little different because of Among Us. But anyway, you know, these things come and go. The generations will think they've made something new up, and it's just like multiple generations before them used it. But I know there's Gen Z mannerisms, excuse me. I'm not sure about if there's any Gen Alpha ones I use. Because it seems like the funny thing for the newer generations, especially while they're younger, is to continue to obscure the humor more and more, so that it's something that, like, makes less and less sense unless you're very in the know. Because it's more like humor, at least digital humor, is being constructed out of artifacts of humor, and not necessarily anything that, like, tells a joke and has a punchline. It's the fact that they've combined artifacts of humor. Yeah, layers of irony and things. Like, you'll have things like Peter Griffin crying in a hospital bed, singing some translation of a song that used to be popular and isn't anymore, and replacing words in that song with things like Skibbity and Phantom Tax and Aiden Ross and all this stuff. Yet. And there's no actual joke in there anywhere. And they'll have a lot of things going by in the background and things that are just images. There's no individual joke. But it's just pieces of things that were jokes at some point, or people found funny, or have some kind of ironic humor to them, that when they're layered on top of each other, people just see the utter chaos made up of stuff that they're familiar with. And the existence of all those things put together as artifacts of their own humor makes it super funny to them. There's thunder again. I wonder if that bed is worth grabbing. Down there. That would have to send me pretty high up to be worth grabbing, though. So I'm gonna not do it. You'd say you doing something is Gen Z? I mean, that's fair. If you actually are a member of Gen Z, then that just makes it Gen Z. But I'm talking about, like, the typical humor out there. I'm millennial, but I'm not exactly the embodiment of millennial humor. I am in some ways. Millennial humor, a lot of millennial humor was, like, coping with existence in a laughing way. Like, to turn dark matters into haha funnies was very millennial. Not like millennials invented dark humor, but the whole, like, oh, it's gonna be impossible for me to buy a house until I'm like 45, and then I'll have to work until I die and always be in debt, or whatever. Haha, guess I'll just die. Guess I'll just die. And, like, jokes about not being able to afford the medicine you need to live every month, and deciding if you wanna, or, like, being upset that you actually woke up and are still alive every day. Like, I'm always so disappointed to wake up in the morning because my body didn't decide to stop living. Those are all very it's a little dark, but that's very millennial. Millennial humor. You have a button, but every time you push it, you use a year. You lose a year from your life. Starts button mashing. Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing. It was all just like, oh, we laugh about how dark it is to cope with it and keep going. Which, I actually find a lot of that humor, despite being about, like, death and suicide and miserableness, to actually be, like, kind of wholesome a lot of times. Ooh, that could be a big fall. Let's see where we go. Is this enough? What's under the cloud? I can't see where to land. Is this enough to end us? Probably. I have to notice where the elevator is. Oh no, we're not far. If we miss these credit cards, we're far. Thing about this point of the game is that we just got lifted up by multiple elevators. Yeah, we're not far at all. That's the helicopter right there. Oh, this might be it though. Yeah, this might be. Okay, this might be the end. Where are we now? Okay. What does this bed take us to? Okay, that was the bed that I called a trick, a trap. I think I'm still good. But let's play careful, because if we fall any further than this, I think we gotta call it. I'm having fun being on this conversation type. I think it's silly to make fun of a generation for their humor, but it's also inevitable. Because I feel like any one of these generations had these things that really kind of like make no sense unless you're used to them. Like generation, I don't even know. Is this possibly a millennial thing? I think this is a little older than millennial. It's either older than millennial or it's the very oldest millennials. Laughed like crazy every time they just saw the stupid low resolution image of a dancing baby that used to be prevalent on like the early internet. Pre-MySpace days. And we just had like the various like troll faces. Is that you? Gen Z humor? Yeah, Ugandan Knuckles, that's true. That was in there. Do you know the way? Your emo phase, you tried to high-five your friend, but he just left you hanging. Oh, yeah. I mean... there's all kinds of cringy emo stuff while I was in high school. Scene had just become a thing. I don't know if it even is really a thing anymore, but scene was to... They were like, there has to be a very definitive line between scene, goth, and emo. Even though they all shop at the same places and all mostly hang out together, and they all are mostly the same in a lot of ways. We gotta strongly delineate them. That emo is like certain haircuts and certain types of outfits that are like dark and they don't care, but they're not trying, you know? And then goth is kind of the same thing, but they're trying a little bit because they're trying to get that like that gothic look. And then scene is like if you take gothic and you throw a bunch of neon colors and stuff in there. It's like a colorful goth. That's not memes though. I'm trying to think of what some of the most ridiculous memes were because they've been dead for a long time. I mean, you think about the fact that even Rickrolling was a meme, and that was older than Millennial, although Millennial popularized it again. It originally came from older than Millennial. Used a lot of Nicolas Cage. Oh, Nick Cage is a very millennial humor thing too. True. LimeWire. Somebody said something about scene style, but I can't look until I'm at the top of this thing. Give me a second. Gotta pause occasionally, catch up. This game is good for talking, but it's not good for reading, because my eyes typically have to be on what I'm doing. We're still in, like, basically I haven't fallen out of the PB area. My PB is now that heaven up there, but, I'm kind of trying to stick with my PB. Let's see. Matreus says, my friend was emo and I left him hanging too. The cops were called. Oh god, dark humor. My family was devastated. Come on, Matreus. It says, got a friend who styles herself in the scene style. Still? Or like in the past? I haven't heard anybody actually like say scene as a style for a long time. But I'm not surprised if it still exists. You know what was very like... I'd say like very late millennial or early Gen Z or like Gen Z when they started to get a little bit older. Because like, if you think about it, Gen Zs are over 20, some of them. Millennial technically stopped around... When did it stop officially? I always forget because they put official years on it, but it kept changing for a while. But some Gen Zs are older. No, I was going to say old, but that's not old. They're older than you would think when you hear Gen Z. But anyway, some of the other style trends, most of the stuff that uses core was very Gen Z. To throw core on the end of something. It's like, this is cottage core, and cottage core is my style. And I did not make that one up. A lot of people who are fans of cottage core. We had a lot of punk. True. Punk was still big when I was in high school. Lots of flannel. Flannel was huge in the 90s, but it still held on a little longer. It was big with the, what I decide to call the people who are most into, like, I guess I could say the grunge crowd. Flannel was very popular with the grunge crowd. Does anybody even know what grunge is anymore? But flannel then later, a little bit later into millennial, flannel became popular with the hipster crowd. People who wanted to look like the lumberjacks, but with man buns. That kind of thing. You were born 95, so you can vouch that you were at the end of millennial and the start of Gen Z. Yeah. I thought millennial was like 85 to 95, something like that. That's hard to keep track of. I did not enjoy jumping across this money last time I was here because this was kind of slippery. I gotta control my momentum on these things. Money creates a slippery slope, guys. Ooh. Okay. Back at the helicopter. It's not bad. We didn't lose too much progress. Jinx, jinx. I'm gonna keep walking here for a minute. You like punk, not necessarily stereotypical punk style, but less scene stuff. I mean, I got some punk in my avatar look. You wouldn't call this look punk by staring at it, but I like to be influenced by a lot of different styles and kind of have them come together. There's some punk in there. Even just having like the paint splash fits some punk styles. I mean, punk is very diverse. Punk was a big millennial thing to diversify too. It's like, oh, I'm diesel punk, I'm steampunk, I'm cyberpunk. Like, you had all the different versions of punks in the millennial, and then Gen Z came along and had all the different versions of core. Is there a punk core? Can we bring those two things together? You hate steampunk? I like steampunk here and there. I had a big steampunk phase in the past. I like bits of all of them. Because I'm not like crazy when you get super stereotypical about cyberpunk style. because it's been there's been some like popularized images that go with Cyberpunk, and it can look cool, but like not for my own kind of look. But I do have plenty of Cyberpunk influence in the stuff that I make and the looks that I try to go for. I actually really like Dieselpunk, but Dieselpunk is a less defined group. But something like Final Fantasy VII was very Dieselpunk. Dieselpunk is often when you have really large, heavy-looking machinery, but it can apply to style as well. So, like, if you take the really heavy, like, big screws and bolts and things like that and incorporate them into fashion, like you look at Cloud Strife's pauldron that he has in the original game on his shoulder. It's very Dieselpunk. The fuel out of the planet kind of themes were very Dieselpunk. The large, shaky, giant Shinra gun that they stuck onto what was the name of the port town in Final Fantasy VII? Very Dieselpunk. A lot of the mechs of that time period were very Dieselpunk, like anything that just had the big nuts and bolts, and you saw pieces of the machinery visibly shake every time it took a step and stuff. Final Fantasy VII, 8, Resident Evil, and Crash Bandicoot are very millennial. They are, yeah. You used to draw your OC with goggles, Nid. Like I said, elements of those things, like, they can all be really cool. I got Cyberpunk in mine. I've got Vaporwave, whether you can say that's a dressing style or not. I've got Decora in there. Decora is a style I actually like, have enjoyed a lot of Decora before. It can look ridiculous. If you do it right, I think it looks cool. If you guys don't know, Decora usually involves adding a lot of stickers and pins and clips and like accessories of that style on all over the place. Like, you'll see people's hair filled with hair clips, and they'll have like a bandage on their face for no reason and wrapped around their finger, and a bunch of pins all over. That was a somewhat popular millennial thing, although they did it less on themselves because schools didn't allow you to to change from the dress code too much. And they did it more on like their backpacks and things, but you'd see people's backpacks covered with pins, especially various emo pins or Invader Zim, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Nightmare Before Christmas. What is it? Was it Angry Rabbit? That can't be the name of it. Angry Bunny? Angry Bunny. Anybody remember Angry Bunny? Or like the Icon Has cheeseburger things? Lolcats? Nyan Cat has managed to exist a little bit longer. Most people know about Nyan Cat. We're very Invader Zim inspired, yes. Yes, indeed. Who was that? Rue! My God, hello! Alright, let me pause here. I don't care if I'm in a precarious place. Welcome, welcome! Ruade? I like that. Here, let me give you a shout out. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, Raiders. My name is Ricky. Let's watch a clip here from Rue.
Congrats, Murakumo, yay, woo, woo. I do not win. That's not me. I don't win.
Congratulations.
What is this, Rune Factory 5?
Oh, boo. Yeah, see.
I like the art. I haven't played this before.
I messed up, guys. It's okay, I got participation prize. Yes. Thanks for the bread.
The music's good, too.
Yeah. I lost.
Welcome, Raiders. My name's. Oh, did we get 2 shout-outs? Was
Hey,
that Mutt Melon?
You leave my wife alone.
Well, we get a second clip too. That's okay.
I will end you.
More Rune Factory. 2. Welcome, Raiders. I will end you. I like the I will end you right there. My name is Ricky, and you found yourself at Eccentripy. We're just having some rants today. It's been mostly a talkie stream, but we're also playing Only Up. Have you ever played this? I hope you had fun tonight. Hold on. Actually, I didn't look. What were you doing? You were playing... Oh, Palia. That's like a 3D Stardew Valley kind of thing. Are you enjoying it? Hey, Licked! Welcome, welcome. Good to see you, Raiders. We're struggling through Only Up today. We've been playing a lot of Dark Souls kind of content lately, and I'm like, let's have a day where we do something different. So we're trying to make it to the top of this game. If you're not... Oh, no! You're not familiar. This game... Pange. This game is... is one where you try to get to the top, and if you make a misstep, you fall a really long ways, and you lose a lot of your progress, like I just did. It's another one of those games like Jump King or Getting Over It. And I've been hitting my personal bests today, distance-wise. Luckily, right now, when I fall, it's not as big a deal as it looks like. Like, I was in this spot just a couple minutes ago, but there's a lot of things in this particular area that lift you up really quickly. Like, it starts with this thing, a Ferris wheel that just brings you up a bunch of distance. And then there's, like, 2 different elevators. Nid showing off the annoying Squiddy Cat. That one was based off of Undertale, which we've been playing lately as well. I'm a bit of a variety streamer, but we mostly game. It's just been a variety of games lately. But I hope you had a great stream, Rue. Thank you so much for the raid, and welcome, Raiders. If you guys have been busy for a very long time, make sure you do your after-stream care. Get your water, unshrimp yourself. God, we're being put in 1 minute end every sentence with nya mode here. Nya. Thank you, Floofers. Nya. And you're welcome to buckle in and see me struggle at this. Nya. You'll never unshrimp, Yuki? Nya. Well, at least stretch your fingers out, move your neck around. Prevent those blood clots, you know? Nya. Gotta stay healthy, nya. You want me to stretch now, Nerve? Okay, fine. Yeah. Oh, and we have 1 minute ASMR mode. Okay, so you guys want to make this as weird as possible for the Raiders, nya. Well, that's fine, nya. This is what the channel's all. This is what the channel's all about here. Thank you for the nya, Redeemer Ruru. I'm very grateful for all of this. Totally. Not salty at all, nya. It's not distracting from my jumping around at all, nya. Who is the Demobi Daddy, nya? Oh, Altair. Thank you, nya. It's it gets a little weird over here sometimes, guys, nya. But we're a wholesome channel. You know what? I wanted to fall. Let me dodge everything. Let me just go all the way down. Let me show you the progress I made. Because we started from the beginning today. So you see with this fall, you get to see how far we came. Get to see how far we came, how far we're going. Out. And this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the game right here. That is all the distance that we made today, everybody. And now we've just unmade it. Where does this actually bring me? Does this not bring me anywhere? Sad violin. Hey, don't worry. At that point, At that point, I was mostly dodging everything because, yes, we did just get raided, but I want to send you guys along to someone else. Because we were supposed to end a half hour ago. And I was like, next time we have a big fall, I'll end. So we might as well spread the love a little further, huh? Pass on, do a double raid? I think that sounds fun. I do appreciate you very much sharing your community with me here, Rue. I've got a big milestone I'm trying to make it to. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers by the end of the year, and I didn't think it would be possible. But the recent momentum, like the consistent schedule, the hard working arc that we're in right now, it's all been giving us a momentum that is finally actually making this possible. So I think we might hit 1,000 by the end of the year. It's gonna be a little tight. Got like what, 9 days left to this month, and and then one more month. But I think I got this. At the very least, doing our best to get there. We'll grow the community a little bit more, and I've got some big events planned for December. I got a lot of ideas for December. God dang, we got an ad break now. That's bad timing. But I'm glad that at least they tell me that we're in an ad now. One of the few... Let me turn down this music. One of the few good updates Twitch has done recently is telling me when an ad happens, so I don't say anything super important while everybody's away in an ad. So I will stall. But yes, don't worry, Floofers. I will check out your drawing before we end. And I do think we got it. I think we got it, not I got it. I think we'll get to 1,000 followers by the end. I'm not trying to say that in a parasocial way. I'm just trying to say that it wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. And you're all also part of that 1,000. I come back and I stream all the time, and I have this motivation to be in this hard-working arc because of you guys. So, yes, I think we've got this. Hecky #1 Catboy. Not a Catboy, okay? Human ears under the hood here, alright? Everyone here in a parasocial way? No, Atreus. No. Tal said ouch. Also hello. Alright, so Floofers says that there's new Eki art in the Discord. Oh boy. Alright, hold on. Copying the link for this. Before I zoom in on it, I'm gonna open up a browser that I can share with you guys. Paste and go, screen share. Floofers Floofers the other day drew a sketch of me. I guess I could show that one too. Yeah, let me show the other sketch as well. So that we can have the full story. Floofers drew this to totally not bully me like Pio and the others about being a cat boy. So, but I'm not a cat boy. Nya, meow yarn. All right. And I don't know. But when I told them that this nya here and this pose reminded me of Dragon Ball Z, they were like, oh, I got another idea. And here's what they produced. Kame Nyame Nya. And they had to throw an Ekiki in there too, huh? Thank you, Floofers. Yeah, I appreciate it. Went full Dragon Ball Z with it. God dang it. For those who don't know, my name is Ricky, R-I-C-K-Y. Some of chat will tell you that it's Wiki with a W. Some of chat now will tell you that it's Eki, E-C-C-Y, because of Piani Estera. Tell everyone Ricky to Eki to Ikiki. No. No. No ooh cats. God, you guys are you're all terrible. Your voice sounds more normal, by the way. I had to check in since you asked me earlier. Thank you, Matreus. I thought maybe it was a case of just not having used it much today. And after I streamed for a little while, it would correct itself. Good to hear, although I don't mind my voice sounding a little deeper than usual. I can make my voice sound pretty deep. I can also make my voice sound pretty high pitch. Talk to yourself more now on? What, just sit in my room talking to myself? I don't think I'm there yet. Although I do talk to my cat. Some people consider that like talking to yourself, but I'm like, I don't care. To me, that's not talking to yourself. They care about what you say. Or they care at least about the fact that you're talking to them. They like that interaction. So why not do it? It's just bonding with the cat. You do that? Yeah, you should, Nid. Some people get like way too clinical with cats, I feel like. You'll hear so much like fake information about cats out there because science on animals, not just cats, for dogs and everything else too. Science on animals is so far behind. And a lot of really weird stuff was circulated a long time ago, especially through like wives' tales and things like that. That a lot of it is still passed around these days, and it's just not true. It's like distinctly not true, and there's even science that says it isn't true, but because it's not highly taught and it's not the science on animals isn't advanced a lot of people still just circulate false information. Like people will be like, oh, cats only meow to people because they're trying to emulate the fact that people speak. They don't meow to each other. That's just false. Cats meow to each other all the time. Even if we capture cats out in the wilderness on like videos and things like that, they meow to each other. It's a big communication mechanism for them. Doesn't mean they have a whole like language and vocabulary and everything, but they definitely convey meaning behind those things. They'll be like, oh, cats don't recognize your face as a face. They only look up there because that's where sounds come out of. And so they'll only look at your mouth and not your eyes. Shut the heck up. Cats recognize faces. They're super smart. They'll look you in the face even if they've barely interacted with people ever, and they don't look you in the mouth. They stare right at your eyes. Sometimes they'll look at your mouth if you're doing weird things. If you're sitting there going pss, 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 or you know, they might look at your mouth because you're being a little bit of a weirdo. You're getting their attention, but like, I don't know. You telling me my cat won't eat my baby when they sleep? It's not eating your baby, Matreus. It's sucking the life out of them. The life force. That's the wives' tale. That they stand over your baby and they breathe in the baby's breath so the baby suffocates. There are still some families that don't want their cats in with their babies even because of that. Your doggo's such a clingy boy. They can definitely be. Our cats practice arcane magic while we're not looking. I do believe that one. Ricky high-pitched voice, Akiki deep voice. Why is Ricky the high-pitched voice? I used to be able to go very high-pitch. I don't practice it anymore though. Like I could probably kind of get there. I like worry about trying on stream because I haven't been practicing it. But like you can kind of get to a higher pitched voice just by slowly raising up your Adam's apple. Like it's hard to explain that. If you can feel like the kinds of like one way is to hold a tone and then to start adjusting the tone and like put your hand lightly against your throat and feel what your Adam's apple is doing and get used to what tones raise your Adam's apple and the feeling of that. And then you can start to kind of hold your Adam's apple higher up and talk while it's held up, and your voice is higher that way naturally, and then you can adjust more from there. There's all these tricks to it. But I used to be like I could go super high pitch. Now I think it would just like, if I just tried to do it right now, it would probably sound like I was trying too much. Although the Elmo voice, Matreus, is kind of an easy way to get there. That's a little bit of a cheaty way to get there, because with Elmo, you're like blocking up your throat in a weird way. It's like you're twisting up your throat. So it gets you high pitch, but like a very specific type of voice, high pitch.
I can go Elmo voice. Elmo.
Vocal coach Ricky.
I remember when I had an Elmo voice redeemed for one of my streams a while back.
But I feel like that's not exactly high pitch. I mean, it's got high to it, but it's just like a weird voice. One of my first, what, Pio? What's wrong? One of my first April Fool's streams. Any of you guys ever heard of Hatoful Boyfriend? We played Hatoful Boyfriend, which is a dating simulator with pigeons. All right. And I had a bunch of voice redeems like Elmo, ASMR, and all these other weird stuff. And a redeem where you could choose one word that I tried to squeeze into every word bubble that I read from the game. That created some real interesting moments. Lufer says one of our cats figured out that if she bites my mom's nose in the morning, she'll wake up, so my cat will get fed. Yeah, sometimes they do learn bad things too. Because if they get positive reinforcement from the bad things, they're like, that's easy. I'll just do that. What's the about, Nerve? Dating sim with pigeons? Don't knock it till you try it. Oh yeah, you saw the Grumps play it, Nid? Yeah, we did that one time for April Fools because I thought it was like a little crazy. One of your cats would open the door to the house. Yeah, so there was this funny story I have from my previous house. So I have Darius. You know, he's very bonded to me. I'm the person that he's probably most bonded with. He follows me around. He meows at me a lot. He always wants to be in my room, cuddles up close to me. A lot of times he tries to take one of my arms and just like sleeps on it or hugs it or something so that I can't take it back and use it. It could be a problem sometimes. But anyway, Darius is super bonded to me, and my mother had a different cat, unfortunately not with us anymore, but some of you who've been here for years might have heard the name Genevieve, who was super bonded to my mother. And one time in my last house, I wanted my mom to try VR, because I had set up VR and there was like this really relaxing VR area. It was the HTC Vive, and you could go in and just visit this really relaxing area. This beach was so cool, and like Google Earth and things, because we had just gotten it. So I set it up, but that's one where, you know, you'll have something over your eyes and there's a cord around and you need a lot of space in the room. You don't want a bunch of little fluffy cats walking around because you don't want to step on them and hurt them and stuff, or kick them or whatever, and you don't want to trip on them. So I shut my bedroom door, made a bunch of space because my bedroom was basically converted to play VR there. Moved everything so it was just open space and had the VR set. And we were experiencing VR in there, but Genevieve and Darius started like knocking on the door and meowing and things because both of their people were in that room with the room closed, and they were getting agitated. They're like, hey, we're feeling clingy. We want your attention. Stop paying attention to that VR thing. And then we ended up being in there like 2 hours on VR, and at some point the doorknob turns and the door opens and Genevieve walks in and Darius walks in behind her, and there's nobody out in the hallway. And I'm like, over the course of those 2 hours, the two of them in some way managed to work together to open that door up, because that wasn't an easy doorknob. It wasn't one of those ones where you reach up and it's a handle that you can just put weight on. That was kind of an older style doorknob. You had to turn it, and you had to turn it with a little bit of force. And I gotta imagine, I'm like, I picture this thing, I'm like, what, a Genevieve stand on Darius's back, put both paws around this thing and turn it. I don't know how they did it, because I've seen cats open doors before, and with some doors it can be understandable, but this one, it's like they must I mean, and you know, it took them 2 hours to figure out how to do this, so there must have been something going on out there. But man, I've never wished that I had like a video recorder outside my room more than at that moment, to see what they did to get in there. I don't know. It was funny though. They did throw, like, they do sometimes throw a fit if you're not paying them enough attention. Like, Darius has this thing, he knocks like a person when he wants to come into my room. So, I'll hear like, donk, 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 like just the normal 3. And then I'll just see his little shadow sit down outside and he'll wait, and I'll come over and I'll open up the room for him. But there's been a few times in the past that for whatever reason, I don't open the door. And he'll start to knock a little more aggressively and then wait. And then he had this thing, he doesn't do it so much anymore, but when he was younger especially, he did this thing where if after a few times of knocking and I say like in the room, I say something like, not right now, he gets the idea, but he still gets agitated, and he'll like have his final thing be that he'll jump up into the air and kick my door, like a jump kick. He'll kick my door and kick off of the door so that he like kind of pushes himself away. And just to make like one loud knock. And he never expects to come in after that. He does that because he's agitated, and he'll immediately walk away after doing it. But it's just like he pounds on my door once to like throw a fit that I didn't let him in. And then I'll hear him like stomp down the staircase outside my room. And it's like he has to actually be putting extra weight down on those paws in order to make the kinds of sounds he does to go down the stairs like that, because he's not normally loud when he goes down or upstairs, but he'll find a way to like stomp his way down the stairs. He'll sound extra heavy because he's like annoyed and he wants to throw a fit. It's funny. Matreya says that's what one of my cats did. She jumped on the doorknob. It was round, pushed off the door frame and twisted around to open the door. She's very clever. Yeah, they figure it out. They get very smart. Darius is one of those guys, like, he's very mathematical. He'll see like a big series of bookshelves and various other things that are all at different levels that will eventually lead up to getting him like a treat or get to a plant that he wants to bite or something like that. And you'll see him planning out a route. Like, you'll see his eyes going from one spot to another to see which route he's gonna take ahead of time. And then he'll like look at me and look at my shoulders, and he's like, you're like the first thing that I could jump on to get a little bit higher to get to these things. And I've gotten to, sometimes I'll just like, when I see him do that, I'll just lean down a little bit and he'll immediately hop right up onto my shoulders or back and then take the route that I just saw him plan out to get to what he wants to get to. It's funny. It's cute to see them work. It is very cute. It's also pretty impressive sometimes. They have a pretty good capacity for learning a vocabulary too. Obviously they can't speak it, but I found that there's a lot of words that they've picked up the context on them enough, and they, you know, they can figure out a difference in how something sounds. It's the same with their own meows. There's a lot of different meows that they do to each other to convey something different. Like, I'm sure some of you guys have seen videos about the tutorial meow. I mean, not tutorial, excuse me, territorial meow. I don't think they're making tutorials for anybody. But the territorial meow that often actually sounds a little bit goofy until it becomes a scream, that's usually the type that's more around like the om nom 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 kind of thing. Like, it sounds like they're om-nomming. And then they'll like put their heads up close to other cats that are in their territory. And then if the two decide to pursue it further, it'll become like a screaming screech fight and they'll slap at each other. But at first it's just like the low guttural throat meows. Only for cat girl VTubers, you've seen them do territorial sounds, Matreus? I'm curious now. Pouty cat's very funny, yeah. Your cat definitely knows her name. Yeah, they learn their name. That's usually one of the first ones they learn because people like call it out to them when they're trying to call them over and things. But they have a good capacity for a lot of other words too. If you say them frequently enough in the right context, then you can say them out of the right context and the cat will like know and react to it as though it was the same. Like, they know what it means. Especially one that they'll frequently learn is about treats, because people will often be like, oh, you want your treats? You want your treats? And they'll like get their treats for them, and they'll be the same context most of the time, but then you can go and say treats when you're in a completely different area and it's not around the time they usually get it and it's a different room and everything, and suddenly they're like perk up, they're like, treats? Are we doing that now? That's unusual, but I'll take it. Of course, you know, it's like anything. They're more likely to learn the ones they're more invested in. But people have also used this for like training of various kinds. And there's videos on the internet like the popular Billy, which is like, it's a little questionable whether Billy knows all the words that have been presented, because the owners present a lot. But Billy is this cat who they started to introduce these buttons to, and the buttons say a word, you know, like pet, or treat, or sleep, or angry. I wasn't angry, it's mad. And the owners had slowly introduced more buttons and provided some kind of context, like something that would happen every time a button was pressed, to try and like treat Billy how to communicate more. And Billy will go up and press a series of buttons. Sometimes it makes a lot of sense, sometimes it doesn't. It's like questionable how many of them Billy knows, but there's definitely some of them that Billy's learned like the exact outcome of that exact button, and will do it when they want that exact thing to happen. It's just kind of funny. And it says, my cat Pharaoh will sit on my mom's bed, and when he wants to be held, he will launch himself off onto my shoulders, given that I'm in the room. Also, he's fat, so I have to catch him if I value the skin on my shoulders. I know that feeling, yes. Because, if they don't make it all the way, they will climb. They'll stick their front claws in, and then the back feet will start pushing the rest of their body up. And if they're heavier, then that climb takes more effort and more grounding themselves in place. I've definitely gotten plenty of cat scratches during my life. But, it's the way it is. Most of them were not harmful. But I also worked with feral cats. Around when I became vegetarian, back when I was 9 years old, I started working with feral cats, and some of them would scratch you with the intent to harm. I remember leaving trails of blood down the hallways in the shelter I worked at a couple of times because of a cat that caught me off guard a little bit more. But it was work that was worth it. We'll talk more about the feral cat volunteer work someday, because I got a lot of my cats from there too. But I am about an hour past when I should end, which is fairly normal. So in a strange form of logic, we're well into what we expect to be in streaming. But I also, you know, I get around this point about an hour late. I do need to actually end so that I can work tomorrow and not just try and fall asleep in my chair. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the sort of more chill, talky stream we had today. Yes, we played Only Up, but it was really more about talking to you guys, telling some stories, sharing some ideas. You have scars from cats? I do too. There was one unfortunate time, this is the last story I'll tell before we move on, and it's a scar story. So I'm sorry if this is going to be a little queasy for any of you. I'll try to keep it not graphic. But, yeah, I had a chonky cat who didn't always make their jumps that well. And I was also young enough, this was in my teens or something, but I still had, like, I was sharing a room with my brother, and we had a bunk bed, and I was on the top bunk. And I was always on the top bunk. And I had this one morning where I got woken up because my chonky cat jumped up to the top bunk but didn't quite all the way make it. So it grabbed for whatever it could to hold on to pull itself up. So it pulled itself up and climbed up. But what it grabbed onto was the skin right under my eye. Luckily, it wasn't like just a tiny bit higher, or it would have been my eyelid itself. But they clawed like the part that if you push into it with your finger, it's like you start to go into your eye socket a little bit. Like it wasn't above bone, it was above the eye socket area, just under my eye. They hooked their claw there and pulled themselves up onto the bed. And that was a nasty way to wake up. And that one left a scar. You can still see it if you look close. It's had many, many years to heal, so it's done that thing that scars do, where it turned white and faded and all that stuff. But yeah, that was a bad one. It could have been a lot worse if it was actually the eye. And it's not easy to see now, but it's still there. And I think I have another one on my right wrist. I have another scar. It just looks like a little white line there, but it's permanent there now. I've had a few, because I've gotten some bad cat scratches in my life, especially working with feral animals. But it's worth it. Cats are lovely. And that one under my eye was completely unintentional. That was just my cat trying to get up on the bed. It was just an unfortunate series of events. If it was over the eyelid, Wiki's VTuber would have a very different design. Yeah, if I lost an eye, my VTuber would probably have a patch. Like, my VTubers have always been based on my actual appearance to some extent. They've evolved, obviously. Like this one, I would love to say I have as much hair as this one. This one's got quite a lot of hair off the top there. But I don't have that much body to my hair. Okay, I'm not bald, but I don't have that much body to my hair. But like the very first one I had, I wonder if I can pull it up. I know I'm stalling more on leaving. It's because we started the stream late. What's this image? That's the birthday image? Okay, I can replace that one. I can replace this one with an older one. Let me see if I can find my old look here. Let's see. I'm looking for my first PNG one. Or actually, you know, I can bring this up. First I can show this, because this was like the very first piece of art that was made for my channel when I started. Which was heavily based off of my actual appearance. The hairline, the way that I part my hair, my facial hair, my actual like nose structure. All this nostalgic Muttmelon, yeah. That was one of the first pieces of art, and I actually made this one myself. This is Ricky art. I drew that one. But then, yeah, the Poto one, Matreus, is what I'm looking for next. So let me see here. I'm sure I can find it. It was on a different computer originally, so I gotta like find where I stored these things. Let's see. Can I find my old PNG, please? Please. Going through old archived files. If I can't, I'll show it to you guys on another stream sometime, but I think I can probably find it here on my D drive. Old computer files. Ricky, art. Well, that's stuff that I drew. I'm not gonna show that stuff right now. Just use a clip? I suppose I could. I wonder if it would be easier to find a clip of that than to find the actual piece itself. I like the idea of like finding the original art just so that I can like zoom in on it a little bit better. But if I can't, a clip I guess would be the next best thing. Also, I'd like to be able to track this down just to remember how to get to it best, but I might not be able to find it here, unfortunately. Man, okay, let me check one more place. I had this file that I called temp some time back, and it ended up just continuing to exist for a long time. I was just supposed to replace it with something else and then I didn't. So I'll go through my temp one here for a second, see if I can find it. No. Nope. All kinds of things I could dox myself with, though. That's good to know. Large icons. No. Oh well. I'm not gonna find my oldest, so I'll bring up this one here. Some of you guys have seen this, some of you haven't. This one here was not my oldest, but this was my first live 2D look. It wasn't the mods, it was the auto mod, Nid, that caught that one. I do agree with its decision, though. Nid just said to Floofers, one of my cats tries to molest me and my family. I understand why Automod caught that, I think it's fair. But yeah, this was my first live 2D look. It was based off of the Owl House style, one of the Disney Plus shows, cartoon, western style. Big coat. It still has a lot of those Squiddy Cat aspects in there. It's got a Squiddy Cat pauldron and a little pin on it that's a Squiddy Cat. And it's got like the hanging belt things that's almost like the bottom of a squid. And it's got a lot of belts in the design and things like around the arms and all this. So there's still a lot of elements. Even the hair had like the early vestments of what would turn into this in it. Yeah, it wasn't quite all the way there yet. But in my first art was very much based off of me. The one that I was trying to find that Poto made was very much based off of me, but just turned a little bit more anime. That one that I just showed a second ago, this one, was just kind of more based off that anime appearance with like a new outfit and then converted to Owl House style. Still based off me, still facial hair, still like the same area where the hair parts, and kind of like the high hairline on that side because that's how I wear it. I could actually part in a different place that has a lower hairline, but I don't know, I just wear it that way. I'm used to it. And that's turned over into what I have now, which still has the same like general sense of the hair kind of being a little bit brown, although it's more toward the purple side now if you look at the actual color it is, and then against the pink it just looks more brown. Obviously I don't have pink highlights in real life, but I could. But there's always going to be semblances of me and my model, even if it gets a little bit more even if it gets a little bit more exaggerated with each one. I still always want you guys to see me in there because I'm mostly just being myself. And that's how I like to have it. And yeah, yes, the live 2D one that I had first had a nose flip. No shaving? What do you mean, shaving my model or shaving in real life, Pio? Because I shave regularly. I just keep facial hair. I just keep short facial hair, which requires actually a little bit more upkeep than it did when I just was clean shaven in real life. Because being clean shaven, I'm just like, I can get rid of all of it easy. If I am short facial hair in real life, then I have to make sure that it's trimmed with the edges looking nice and all the facial hairs at like the same length, and I don't let it go too long without shaving, or like I start to get the neck beard kind of like thing. It's a lot more work to have short facial hair and have it be like clean and neat looking than it is to have it be fully clean shaven, but I prefer how I look with some facial hair. NSN. No shave November is no good for hygiene. Oh. I kind of agree with that. But I have a hygienic facial hair. I mean, we've talked about how I feel about like cleanliness and germs and things like that before. I keep up my hygiene as much as I can. I think Pio just wants me to shave so that it's easier for her to draw art of me. Because anime facial hair is a little bit of a struggle, especially when you try to chibify it. And Pio's style is a little bit more chibi so far. But I think Pio did a good job, alright? If we look back at, like... Actually, no, let me pull up an image. I was pulling up images anyway. Why don't we just pull up an image? Hold on, let me see. Downloads. There we go. Pio made this recently. Look at that. I think Pio did a pretty good job translating the minimalistic amount of facial hair that I have on this model into chibi. Look at that, it's still on there. This model actually has a little less facial hair than I do in real life. My facial hair will probably be a little bit more exaggerated on my next model. It's just that the artist that did this one is not really used to drawing facial hair. Most people aren't on anime characters. There's not a lot of it. I don't know if it's just because of the difficulty to draw it in the style, or if it's because in a lot of Asian cultures, a lot of people don't have facial hair. Either they shave it all off, or they can't grow it. And then when people decide to have facial hair, they don't stop at the just a little. Like, the stubble is not a popular look in a lot of Asian cultures. If they decide to grow a beard, they usually grow it like more full. And then there's various ways of trimming that particular beard. So you see those styles in anime. You see people with fuller beards or particular stylized trimmed beards, but you never see stubble unless they're like lightly indicating a drunk person or something who didn't take care of themselves hygienically as much as they should. You don't see like the clean kind of stubble too much. So it's a little hard to translate to the style because there's not a lot of references to go off of. But I'm trying to do it a little bit more on my next model, which I am drawing myself. And I agree, I think this that Pio made is very adorable. And I think this is a pretty good stylization of the whiskers. And I'm shooting myself in the foot by saying this, but yes, stylizing it this way kind of looks like cat whiskers as well. You know, you got the little pointed bits off to the side there. So, I guess it kind of fits. Alright. Beards are much less of a spectrum further east, it would seem, on a surface level. Yeah. I'm sure there's probably a lot of reasons for that. I can only speculate a little bit. Not Catboy, Pio. Not yet. But anyway, I'm going way too far over time, so we're gonna find somebody to raid. And let's see, who do I want to raid? Sushi's live right now. Any of you guys know Fusushi? Fusushi's got a lot of people watching right now. I think they're doing well for themselves tonight, but I'm still gonna send a raid over there. Might as well. We'll say hi. Fusushi is doing just chatting, but it looks like Yahtzee, perhaps, is happening over there. Just via Muttmelon. Oh, have you met... I think I met Sushi in a different route. Yeah, I think through Pio, not via Muttmelon. So we're connecting our circles there. I don't know if it is a different Sushi. I guess that might be a popular thing. But yeah, we're gonna go spread the love to Fusushi, who's doing a little bit of Yahtzee and probably got a couple of raids tonight. So let's keep that going. Spread the love. And I will see you guys all on... what is today? Tuesday? I'll see you all on Thursday. And we'll probably be finishing our Dark Souls 3 randomizer. Or doing our very best to. If we're doing the DLC, we might not get there, but we'll try. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for being here. You can spread Nya if you want to. Otherwise, here's the raid message. And here is the sub raid if you're a sub and you can use those. We haven't raided Sushi before. So be on good behavior, okay? Let it be about the love. And have a good night. Thank you for being here, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.